Hey, what's up, Skullball? We're the Imagination Creation Films, and today it is August 2nd, 2024, and it's the afternoon. And there's something that happens on the afternoons on Fridays. What would that be? It's the afternoon for me. It might be the late evening for you. It could be early morning for you. I don't know, but you know what I do know? Right now is your time. Your time to shine. Well, we'll shine a light on you. It's monetization pending. Why would that be monetization pending? Just give me the love. I didn't mean to turn on the audio. How is everyone doing? Are you having a fantastic and wonderful Friday? Are you enjoying life? Are you hurting because of the industry? Are you planning something exciting? Are you going somewhere exciting? Are you, what kind of things are you doing? Because, I care. It is a beautiful and fantastically wonderful day. King is out there saying good afternoon. Well, good afternoon, King. Had some weird audio issues, which I do test just for you before the live stream every day now. What is that flashing? That's weird. The audio switch tracks, and I don't understand how or why or what. But I had channel 4, which is where the audio comes in, up, and channel 3 down. But I couldn't get the audio, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And then I realized that it was coming in on channel 1, or the primary channel, channel 3. That was weird. But, I saved us from certain disaster, an audio issue on my channel during a live stream. No one has ever seen that before. And we certainly can't have them see it now, can we? So, yes. Anybody buy any bags or decide on it? Anybody like any of those bags that I had on the episode on Wednesday? I was going to talk about them last Friday, and then we had Phil on, and I was like, I'm not going to talk about bags with Phil. I'm going to talk about lenses and optics and sensors and bears. Oh my! And then, oh yes, I am live. Thank you for letting me know. I have lots of stuff for next week too. Oh, I'm super excited. Just got something in to test and review. Hopefully everyone is looking. I'll show y'all what we're looking at here. It's I got this. You can't look at that. That's cheating. Got this for review, and I'm kind of excited because there's no finer way that I can think of to do a remote recording in a tiny little package. I was already playing with it. It's really small, compact. So we'll be putting that through its paces. Remote recording, as some of you may know, perfect for opportunities where you're in a big wide shot. Say your person is wearing no shirt at all, or no hat, or just having a hard time finding a place to put a lapel, and you can't boom in there because it's a wide shot, but maybe there's a plant sitting on the table there, or maybe there's just something you could just tuck away a little microphone in there. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes it's what it takes to get that amazing audio captured when you need it. Everyone is so talkative. What's up with that? It's is it a weird Friday? Did I start too early? Did I feel like I'm right on time? 4:00. We've got several more videos with the Z8 going on. Several. I'm very excited to get those out so you guys can enjoy those. There's several of you out there. Where is everybody from? Because that's a great question that Brandon Washington asks every live stream that he does is, where are you from? Because I know some of you. I know King. King's like, I'm Scott. Did I hear that correctly? You pre-ordered the R5 II? I did not pre-order the R5 Mark II. I did not. I'm going to wait. We'll see. Happy Friday, Scott. Hello, Frank. How are you? The Robert, hello. Happy Friday from Lighthouse Point, Florida. Wow. Lighthouse Point. Is that all the way south? Is that where that would be? Lighthouse Point. I'm trying to think of all the lighthouses that I know of in Florida, and I think I only know of two. All the way down south. All the way down south. The southernmost tip of the United States. And isn't there one in like St. Augustine? Over by I feel like there's one by the old fort or something. Maybe. Interesting. We have lots of, just trying to think of the stuff that's around me. We've been playing clean house. We've been cleaning up and kind of moving things around and getting stuff really kind of put away. Let's put it that way. Getting rid of stuff we don't need and honing in on the stuff that we do use all the time to make us more efficient here and to make room for some other things. We've got a whole bunch of gear coming in next week for testing. It's going to be some good stuff. I already have the perfect test for that in mind. A recreation of a scene. And I think it'll be pretty cool. Robert says, between Fort Lauderdale and Boca Raton, we live in the marina by the Hillsborough Inlet Lighthouse. Very, very cool. In the marina. Wow. Are we boat bound? We sleeping on a gently rocking boat? That's kind of cool. Lenses. We have full lens tests. That won't be ready next week, but the week after. The adapters, the Module 8 adapters, I think might be ready by Wednesday. There's quite a few things over there. I'm just trying to think of what I can talk about, what I can't. King wants to know, what lenses are your most used? I would still say my most used lenses are still my Sigmas. But it does depend quite a bit. The Sigmas are very dependable as far as their look, and I've come to just be able to pull them at a moment's notice and know what to get out of them. Sorry. The Irix lenses I use quite a bit, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm going for compact and fast movement, then I'm usually on a zoom, usually the 1835 Sigma, but on the Sigmas is more cinematic stuff. I do like those. If I'm doing nature, I'm almost always on the 100 to 500 Canon with the 2X on it. It's just such a solid lens. It's hard to fathom. We have the new Nisis coming in. Kind of excited. We have the whole rest of the set in here, and what do you guys think? I think we'll be offering a discount for Nisi on their lenses. Kind of not necessarily a group buy, because you'll just be buying direct from them, but a group discount for a closed group, for just this group. I I think I've secured that for us, and I don't I don't know how to disclose or what I'm not supposed to. I haven't heard anything I'm not supposed to disclose yet. The discount is significant. I can tell you, I do not believe there has been a discount this deep for the Nisi lenses. And yeah, I've been talking with them for a bit about that and what we could do. Um, I want a set of Nisi lenses myself, and as I told them, because they offer certain affiliate type of things, and I said, look, I do want some lenses, and I want to earn a little bit on them, but I'm more interested in you guys getting the discount, because in the end, I'm going to buy them whether I earn them or not, and to get that discount is kind of awesome. So what do you think? Are you interested in Nisi lenses at a pretty darn good discount? I can say no. It's closed. It's a closed, limited time. Like it'll be a week that we'll get to offer this deal. It'll be closed. It won't be through stores. It's going to be direct through them, but it's going to be like a coupon code kind of thing. Y'all interested? You think we can pull that off? It might be fun. I would like to have that happen. Sigma Vibes, they're EFs. Don't get in trouble. I'm pretty good about that. I specifically asked what I'm not allowed to say, and there's not really anything I'm not allowed to say. I just don't want to. I don't want to count chickens before they've hatched, but the discount has been basically set, and let's see. Let me do the math here real quick. It's a lot. That's what I can say. It's but it will be it'll be limited to the U.S. and Canada. However, and more details will be coming soon. Anybody else in the world can potentially get them at the deal, but it's the duties that you'll have to pay. So I know that can be a pain for some of y'all, and I don't know if that works out in your advantage or not. That's just one of those things. But yeah, that's I want a full set of lenses, and I don't imagine if we sold bunches and bunches of sets that I would be earning enough to get a set. But I mean, if I get one, it's better than none. I'm still going to use the discount and buy the lenses. I just, I want to be upfront that there is affiliate on there, but I whack that affiliate down to give the discount higher. It's something I do. Now that I have a Monstro, I've got the EF Otis 55. I had to rebuy Otis because I have Nikon mounts. There is no DSMC2 Nikon VistaVision mount. That's correct. Yes, there's no VistaVision Nikon mount. That is correct. However, I'm not sure if you would run into problems with that. I would need to go talk to someone about that one, because they do make a Nikon, but it's not VistaVision. It's very hard to get, actually. Let's see here. Nisi lenses are amazing, clean set of lenses to have. Indeed they are. The duties are going to be worth it, or I doubt the duties. I don't think the duties are going to be worth it. I don't know what the duties are. Do you have any idea, Rumen, what the duties are to bring them in? I can tell you if the duties are 20% or less, you're going to come out quite a bit ahead. Mr. Eagle, hello, sir. How are you in the West Coast in the world of Bright Tangerine, which we will be having a review of a Bright Tangerine product here soon, too. DSMC2 has F mount that doesn't. DSM3 doesn't have Nikon. No, but he was saying VistaVision though. He needs to cover Monstro with the Nikon, and I don't remember the opening size of the Nikon mount. DSMC3 doesn't have no. DSMC3 doesn't have anything but PL. Yeah, you need an active mount, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, if you had DSMC3, you could use yeah. Yeah, you're kind of stuck there for that. So yeah, you had to rebuy. I've seen people DIY Nikon mount from Super 35 to VistaVision, but I don't have the savvy ability to do it. I would assume the only thing they're doing is taking a lovely, what do they call them, the roto zip or whatever to the Dremel tool to the inside. That is my guess. Let's see, let's crank this up. Let's get a nice, what do we got here? Equipment list sent a link to something. Nikon for red. Equipment list, I think that one is also Super 35 though. I need to turn on my fan. It's always fun. The same fan that evacuates the odors from a bathroom also evacuates prop smoke, but at a higher rate. That was designed for maybe a public bathroom. Never knew the DSMC2 wasn't full frame. That's because there wasn't, when they came out with it, it was originally for the DSMC1, and there wasn't a full frame for DSMC1. It was DSMC2 when they came out with it. And there wasn't really a huge, oh, hey, here we go. Mr. Holland says, wooden camera made a simple Nikon passive mount, but that's passive. Yeah, I think, don't you need for, well, no, because Nikon has iris on the lenses, and the focus you don't care about because autofocus on DSMC2 was more of a feeling than an actual ability. Rob says, can anyone recommend a good webcam that works with the Mac? I didn't mind the Logitech 4K, I forget what they call it. Let me see here. Logitech 4K webcam. Yeah, the Brio. I'll send you a link here, Mr. Rob. Just a second. Rob Eagle. There you go, sir. That is one that I've used, and it works quite well. It's reasonable. It's not super cheap, but it's 4K. You're not going to run it in 4K. You're going to run it in 1080. So, which the Otis are passive, though, right? That's true. The Otis are not automatic. Does that mean with dummy mount, I get no metadata? That is correct. You get meta-human data. What you want to do is write it all down. Right. But you can be meta-human. Oops, we zoomed ahead. No metadata on dummy mounts. They are dumb. They're dumb. like metahumans sometimes. Metahumans can be quite a... It says, just check the import duty rates for France where I'm at, and it says between 0 and 22. So maybe it is a deal if the delivery is not too expensive. I don't know what the delivery would be, but you'll have a few percentage in there to work with. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna get it all packaged together and put it out there as best I can. And, hopefully we sell a bunch. If not, we tried, and we all got a discount that way. Camera reports. Let's see here. Yes, I am live. I know this. Who's got some exciting stuff to talk about? I mean, I've always got fun stuff to talk about. Trying to figure out the best way to simplify the food channel. And I know that's a weird thing. We got the big set, and I like the set, and you haven't seen it recently because I haven't done anything recently, because it is a heck of a lot of work to do those cooking videos, and I want to be able to crank them out basically when I'm making dinner. I want to be able to throw stuff together rapidly, but not make it seem like, here's a TikTok video doing that. I'm trying to think of what is the best way to do that. I also want the puppet to help, which is going to slow things down like crazy, but the puppet needs to help make... why is it so hot? That's so weird. Puppet needs to help make that needs to go like that. That'll get over to me. There we go. Air conditioning. It is a hot day actually today. It's been wild. Oops, jumped again. We'll definitely share with my peers. I'm in a filmmaking group with a few hundred people, very active, and we all know each other pretty much. At least one person will make use of the deal. Yeah, it'll be a multi-step part to get it for anybody outside of the U.S. and Canada, just because we're going through the manufacturer, and they don't want to step on toes, that kind of stuff. Which is why it'll be a closed group deal. It'll be just for us, a couple of 10,000 people here, and a very short period of time, kind of thing. We'll do our best, and if that works, well, if it works, if a couple of you buy, then I think it works. I mean, it doesn't probably work as much for a manufacturer, but maybe we can get some of those kind of deals going where we can get some of those discounts for you. I've got another manufacturer in mind that I want to work with, and we'll see about that. Time to hunt down those VistaVision mounts. You could check eBay. It's surprising how much DSMC 1 and 2 stuff shows up on eBay. It's weird. Been looking for false color OLPF from Kipper Tie for over a year. Fingers crossed I'll find them soon. Yeah, you might just try posting. Say, hey, I'm looking for this. Does anybody have one that they're not using? A lot of times that can work. A lot of times. It must be a slow day on the live stream day, and that's okay. Did y'all? Not very many of y'all watched the bag video, so I'm assuming that wasn't your bag. Is that the case? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I can pull out. I did discover, I watched a movie last night that I really enjoyed. I thought it was really well done, and it, of course, made me want to recreate again a shot that is oh so famous, but doing it in such a way that I I can do it by myself. That movie was Bad Boys Ride or Die, and the shot, of course, is the standard rotation as we stand up and elevate, orbiting shot. I really like that shot. We did it with the spinning rig, the forgot it. But I think I figured out a way, just using math, to do it with my Kessler gear. Now, Kessler doesn't make an arc. However, their jibs, the Pocket Jib Pro, does do an arc. However, the Pocket Jib Pro is only like 6 feet long for its arc, so it would create a 12-foot diameter circle, which would not be quite as good. We need to be telephoto. So what I've determined is I can use the arc of the jib and the slide of a dolly. So what is the best way to show this with knocking everything out? So if this is my orbiting shot right here, and it's sticking out. If I am this person right here, then this orbiting like this, it's only going to be 6 feet away. But I could take this dolly, and I can let me just move it a little bit. There we go. I can take the dolly, and I can do a perpendicular slide whilst I'm doing the arc. It will give me less of a rotation. So I've got to determine the exact curving to make that happen. But you can do a longer arc with that side to side. That got me thinking. And I can go any level of arc and get that parallax that we need, or I can get any diameter of a circle. What I do is I start to limit how much of that curve I can do. Now, they aren't doing, on a lot of these shots now, they're doing less than 90 degrees. I feel like it's a lot less than 90 degrees. So I think I can get away with it. That's my thoughts. What do you think? You gonna do the Rise Hero shot? Yep, indeed. Did it once with a gimbal. Kind of worked. Yeah, they do it on a dolly, and they do it with an actual the real dollies, the really nice ones, the number 11, and they're rising up as they're going, and that works really well. I think they actually have it on a turret as well. You can do it with a gimbal. I think it sells best when you get that really telephoto look. That is going to be the hardest to do. The hardest to pull off, because the further I get, the more telephoto I can use. The more telephoto I use, and the further I am, the less arc I get. So I've got to really kind of sell it. They also do this thing where they're rotating their bodies as they're coming around to give it a more of a multidimensional look. Sorry for changing the topic, but have you had a chance to try the V-mount batteries from Core SWX with the USB-C Power Delivery Pro? I have not used them here yet, but I will soon. I have played with them extensively, and it's a winner. It is really, really slick. It's also really slick what else they can do with that connection. It's awesome. I'm really excited for that. And I'm also excited for their I call them Legos, the snap locks. Those are really slick. Yes, a Fisher dolly. Thank you very much. Always wanted one. I was so devastated the first time I found out that you couldn't buy one. And then I was super devastated to find out that if I could buy one, they would cost $150,000. And then, I was like, well, that's just not happening. DM Color says it helps that the actors are turning against. Yes, exactly. Like I said, a lot less people, a lot less than people think. Yeah, I think though on The Rock, which I happened to watch the other day, also really good. I love me a little Michael Bay hymn. I think on The Rock they did it a lot more of an orbit. Because I remember when we did the orbital rig, I had watched that and was kind of counting it and figuring out how far they had gone. It was a considerable amount. My biggest problem with that orbit rig that I had was I couldn't be on it. And, I'm the star of the show. What I'm saying? Rex wouldn't sit on it. So I had to get Cynthia on there. It was because I'm too big and fat to stand. Well, I could stand on it, but it was rated for 300 pounds, so I'm clear to be on it. I didn't want to push the limits. You know what I'm saying? They do have their new one now, which I saw at NAB, the city version, which is a couple $1,000s, but it's big. It's real big, and 2,000 pounds it can handle. But I like the control and the smoothness that you get from the Fisher Dolly. And I feel like just knowing what I have done before and how smooth the Kessler shuttle dolly is with the new gray wheels are insane. And the amount of track that I have two 20-foot sticks of that out in, I have two 20-foot sticks of speed rail out in my garage that I've never really used. I got them so that I could have 20-foot sticks in case I ever needed 20-foot sticks. But 20-foot sticks would give me a long arc. I need to figure out the math on that. Actually, I probably don't. I probably don't need to figure out the math at all. All I really need to do is put the, I just need to center the Pocket Jib Pro, obviously opposite of camera, but pointing directly at camera, center it, and then go to the edge and point it directly back at that single point. And then all I got to do is draw that into an arc. That would be probably actually a lot easier than I think it will. This could be fun. I might go play with that. So who's got questions? People got questions? I mean, it just could be one of those slow Fridays, and I'm all for that. I don't think we have any food cooking tonight. Boy, we've been still eating that pork from last week. I sent a picture to. I guess I can't. Can I? Trying to think if I could share the photo. I sent the pork picture to Phil because he was like, "Ooh, I barbecue smoked pork is kind of my jam. Maybe I can do it. Let's see." Let's see what we can do here. Because I'm going to start talking about food. You know what's going to happen. Why is there a dog on the moon on the screen? He's not technically on the moon. He's more on his way to the moon. That's Rex. If you are unfamiliar with the channel, that is Rex, the studio dog. He is right there, and he's just right behind me. And he he's really why everybody comes anyway. They don't really come to see me. They come to see the dog. So I gave him a camera. Oh no, later. Let's see here. Where's my pork? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that looks delicious. We'll send that to right there. Oops, that was dumb. I'll send it to this one. I can't send it to that one. And sent. There we go. Now let's see if I can display this. Which camera is this? Oh, look at that. There we go. There's the pork from last week. Woo-wee. Yeah, that was some delicious smoked pork. It's pork butt. We cut it into fours to give it a little extra. I guess I could use this iPad to look up things, should anybody wish for me to look up something. But for now, I will put it back. There we go. Okay. That looks so good, what you showed. Are you talking about the pork? Yeah, it was really good. We were very pleased that it came out as well as it did. There's just so much. I mean, to tell you, it was I don't know, 18 pounds of pork. That's a lot. And, it's just two of us and then two others that are eating with us. That's a lot of pork to eat. Didn't know about Rex. I'm a fairly new subscriber. Well, Ruben, thank you very much for being a subscriber and welcome. Yeah, Rex is, Rex, you want to say hi? Psst. Hey, you want to acknowledge life? Hey, come on, say hi. You gonna say hi? Just say hi to everybody. Yeah, no, that's it. He just kind of hangs out. He's the most laid back dog on the planet. He just wants to be wherever I'm at. He's a studio dog. Scotty V, how's your Friday? I had a friend ask about San Marcos. Oh yeah, and the other thing, Ruben, to know is that when he goes on his back, you have to start counting. 70 seconds is the maximum he's ever been on his back. He has to roll back over for some reason. I had a friend ask about San Marcos. There he goes. Back over. There we go. Ask about the San Marcos studio. I didn't have an answer. Do you know anything? I have not heard anything new about it. The last I had heard was the update you had given, and I have not heard a single murmur about it. Frank says, I just smoked some yesterday. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, right? The simplest flavors work the best with it. It really does. But there's some flavors in there that just go nicely. I heard you mentioned your color grading node. Could you make a video? I actually have that on my list. That is actually the video I had planned to release on Monday. I don't gatekeep at all, King. The only thing I gatekeep are things that I'm required to gatekeep. That's it. If someone tells me I'm not allowed to share, I don't share. But most everybody, I'm like, please, can I share? No, I mean, I don't gatekeep because I learn from people who don't gatekeep. And so I learn from wonderful people, and I'm happy to do that. Now, there's he doesn't have sleep apnea. There's a thing with big dogs and being on their back. The pup before Rex would, if he went 60 seconds, he would sneeze, and he would sneeze uncontrollably until he got back over. I suspect it's similar with him. Yeah, he's just kind of funny. He's never sneezed upside down, but it used to be 60 seconds. And then one day he just broke his record for 70 seconds. And I mean, he's just as happy as he can be upside down, but then he just comes back over. Let's see here. There's Instagram is slow today. That's interesting. That may be why there's so slow everywhere. I wonder if I'm even on Facebook. Probably am. Wait, let's see. I should be able to see. No, I don't see anything on Facebook. Huh. Let me see if I am. Maybe that could account for it. Let's see. Scott is... No, I'm live. Okay. Well, just a slow day, and that's totally fine. Throw some questions at me. Those spark my my ability to get off topic quickly. We can open this. We're already playing with it. Well, the royal we. So the PR2 pocket recorder, we can open that. Let's see. Do you like working with older cameras? In a way, yes. In some ways, no. I like it. I like to use older cameras for achieving a look from an older camera. In other words, age. You know, there are cameras that could shoot okay, there are cameras that could shoot good, and sometimes those okay cameras are what you like to achieve. For instance, this lovely guy right here from Amazon. It's beautiful, beautiful. Has a full color screen, touch screen too, no less. It was $12. It shoots 1080p video. The quality is atrocious, and thus it will be used for some atrocious video. I have Super VHS camcorder up there. I have my old single CCD little handy cam from way back. What brand is that? Is that Panasonic? Or is it Canon? I don't remember. That one was just one of those. We just had to have a little camera to hang around. It just depends. Have you had a chance to look at the new Nano Primes? You're talking about the Zeiss? Those, I have played with them at Cinegear, but that's it. The problem there is that they're currently only available for Sony due to licensing. Did you order a C400? Are you interested? I've seen very nice things. I have not ordered a C400. I probably won't order a C400. It doesn't fit my needs, but I could definitely see where it fit a lot of people's needs. I wouldn't mind reviewing it to help people see what it can and can't do. It definitely is one of their coolest cameras yet. Do you think you'll get a Pixis for review, or that isn't something you'd be interested in? No, that is interesting for me. I have reached out. I'm not their A-lister or A-listers, so we talked, and when they get through their initial Pixis push, then they'll make one available for me to review, and that'll be cool. I mean, I'm interested. I'm very interested. I'm also interested in the Cinema 12 and the Cinema 17. I think those cameras I'm prejudging, but just because of what's in Pixis and what's in those other two, I think they're just a step away from something truly incredible. That doesn't mean that it's a big step. I just think they're a step away. C400s had me intrigued, but I can't do anything less than 16. But footage for now. But less than 16 footage for now. Oh, 16-bit footage. I hear you. I don't think. Believe me, I love my R3Ds and my red footage. I think it's the stretch from 12 to 16 bits is something that very, very, very few people ever need and even fewer people could tell. A colorist is going to be able to tell, especially if you give them some extra work. But yeah. Bill says, hey, Bill, speaking of older cameras, I love the Super VHS camera look you use to do on the live streams. Yeah, fun fact, I actually fired that up the other day. I was trying to copy off some old VHS tapes, and I quickly was reminded after I had to diagnose I had completely forgotten about a little thing called macrovision. Macrovision, if y'all didn't know, on VHS, allowed them to inject an analog signal into the tape that would push the chroma, the values really high and make everything look like crap. And it would be this kind of like thing. So yeah, I had to embark upon a journey of how to get these off, which because there's no macrovision defeaters anymore. It's kind of an interesting thing. I know it's not the best camera that came out this year, but for me it has been the most exciting. It really is what most of us actually need, is affordable enough to get. It is an exciting camera, but I think it's a nice form factor, although a little larger than I would have expected. But it's not that much of a jump. So what you're getting from the pocket to that is not much of a jump at all. You're still getting the same dynamic range. A lot of things. He's going over again. Let's zoom out on this. There we go. And so I think, 13 stops. It's not the end of the world. It makes a pretty image. I just think they're one step away from Pixis being something truly incredible. You put a 15, 16 stop sensor in there, which they have. Pixis becomes something pretty magical, especially for the price. Now, it could be the price the reason that they don't have that in there. Colorist says, from a colorist perspective, 16-bit is great, but you still pare down to 10-bit for display and 12-bit for cinema. Yep. Always great to start with larger color space than your D-negative. This is true. Also depends on where you're going with it. Absolutely. 12-bit for cinema. It is nice. And I've always said, and I still believe it, at least one step above what you're delivering. In other words, if you're delivering in 2K, having a 4K camera will make the 2K image look better, period. If you're delivering in 10-bit, having 12 bits of color will be better, period. Because it's what you're pushing. You're pushing around. If you're at 10-bit, then the limitations are in there. You want to be able to push beyond and get it to come back. DM says 12-bit is definitely good enough for 80 to 90% of content. I would imagine it's a little bit better than that. Sorry, I heard the unmistakable sound of a wasp hitting the roof. I wanted to make sure. Not gonna lie, I want to film a wedding on a VHS and see if I can pull off a good image. You can't. You can pull off a retro image. You definitely can do that, but you can't pull off a good image. I wanted to do the live. Well, I did a live stream on VHS. Well, on VHS camcorders once. Gosh, that was 5 years ago, maybe 2018, maybe 2017. It was a while back. Sorry. other than your Reds, what cameras are your clients asking you for? They usually, my clients, I have two tiers that I'm shooting on. The Reds, and then everything else is, they want everything, but they don't really know what they want. And it's more social and corporate kind of stuff. So they're not asking for anything other than, well, we want to put it on social media, or we want to present it at this conference, or what have you. They're not asking for much. Those that know would usually ask for a Sony. Now, since I'm Sony-less, I usually just shoot on, I shoot on Komodo X mostly. And I just do it because I like shooting on that versus the Canons. I don't think the Canons, I have the R8 and the R7. I think they're okay. I just don't love them. The Z8, I mean, if it was mine, which maybe someday I'll buy one, probably right after I have to return this, which is not very far. I'll probably buy one. In which case I'll shoot on that, because I'm really learning how to manipulate the image on that, which is another video coming up, is how to shoot the best video, not just skin tones, you know. We're going to do astrophotography too with it. Ruben says, I know it's not a jump, but I think that's not the point of it. You get the cinema style camera and you can match it with 6K full frame as a B cam. Definitely not an incredible camera. Yeah, well, the point of it is to get them out of their, if you're running on battery, the Pocket 6Ks suck. All of them. They all suck, because you have to run external batteries in order to get anything to make sense with that. Otherwise, you have such short run times. So if you're sticking all that on there, then the form factor has been the biggest complaint that they've had on it. They would really like some more professional form factor in there. And the box cam is a really good form factor. I think what they've done is they've given us, you know how, car dealers or car manufacturers, they will refresh everything on the inside 1 year. And then the next couple of years, they're just refreshing the outside. I think what they've done with Pixis, they gave us the outside fresh look. So that's what they're going towards. And then the next model year, we're going to get the inside. That's really going to take it. So they're using basically what they have for the inside and such. That is my gut telling me on that, just based upon the sensor and all of that. I love a challenge. If I can find a VHS camera, I might try it. I mean, you can find them. The problem you're going to have is finding one that's a reasonable working condition. Honestly, if you want the best, find a Super VHS, a Panasonic Super VHS, because they shoot 410 lines as opposed to 240 lines. And then you need a USB analog capture, which I literally just bought one on Amazon. It was like $20. My old one that I had that I was using for the live streams, can't get drivers for it anymore. I don't know what is really happening, why everybody has to lock off these drivers so much. It just irritates me to death. But, at some point, and this is a discussion point we could definitely talk about, at what point is using something no longer viable? For instance, PlayStation 5s, PlayStation 4s. You didn't buy a Blu-ray, right? 4s didn't have Blu-rays, did they? 3s did. Maybe 4s did. For the most part, you were downloading your games off of the interwebs. I'm not much of a gamer anymore. PlayStation 5, there aren't any Blu-ray releases, right? You're just downloading them off the internet. So they shut off Xbox 360, the store. So you now have an Xbox 360 that whatever's on it is on it, and that's it. Some of those may not work at all without the store. Some of them may work fine. But at that point, what is a used value of a PlayStation 5 after they shut down the PlayStation 5 store? When that gets shut down, you don't have anything. You don't have anything physical. And that is what's happening, is what I'm seeing, is it is becoming more and more difficult to get things off of old things or use old things because nobody wants to support it anymore. Even the base level. I mean, I have laptops out the rear end, which I'm actually getting rid of, because it's time to let go of some things, just to clean up, because it's time to stop being a hoarder, electronics hoarder. But you know, I literally had to make the determination: do I have an ability to pull video from mini DV? Do I have the ability to pull the VHS? And I didn't until I had to work through a whole bunch of things to pull stuff off the VHS. We were getting to the point quickly where that's not going to be feasible or doable or anything. So I am worried about it's something I've talked about, the cloud. Make no mistake. So there is no cloud, just so you're aware. It's just other people's computers. And when we're talking about the cloud, the goal of cloud is to get you into their environment whereby you can't get back out. Stickiness is what it's called in the industry. That is what it's for. And so they create all of these things in the cloud. They make them super affordable, blah, blah, blah. It's so easy, so fast, but you're stuck. And then you're forced. For instance, Google, you had this unlimited Amazon and unlimited Google space. For life. For life. That's what you bought when you bought it. Come to find out, life means different things to different people. And to Google and to Amazon, it meant, well, about 5 years. Then they said you have 30 days to get your data off. What are you going to do? Well, you need to move your data to the new model, which is it costs. Kind of like the unlimited data plan that AT&T and Verizon and all those had. It was forever until it wasn't. Then they said, well, we're going to throttle. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You said forever. So then what do? They just, you're on an old technology, and eventually that technology is no longer supported. Sorry, we don't give it to you. So I am worried about a lot of changes that is happening in the industry, moving towards cloud and such. I'm going to fix this real quick. The air is blowing straight across my face, which causes me to cough, which is kind of funny. He sneezes, I cough. It's not this, actually. So, yeah, finding a good camera, finding a way to capture it, it's going to be challenges. Pixis is more about the form factor, indeed. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's the exterior refresh. Or as Marquez would call it, you get you get spec bumps and then you get refresh. Spec bumps and refresh. Pixis is a refresh without really the spec bump too much. Would you pick up a Z8 over Z9? Yeah, I would. I like the form factor of the Z8. Z9 is better for longer recording. But other than that, I prefer to have a more compact camera. And by compact, this is not compact. This is DSLR size of a camera. Way, way bigger than, say, 7D, which is somewhere over there. Yeah. I wonder why people skip over the box form factor of Zcams. Do you have any thoughts on them? I Zcam is one of those interesting companies. I would not mind reviewing one. Maybe I could talk to them and review one. They're interesting, but I don't know. I feel like they overpromise a little bit, and maybe I'm just speaking out of my rear end, and maybe I need to go ahead and get one for review. I'll reach out. I'll ask because need to find out. They are small cameras, indeed. Rumen says, but is that we asked for the 6-frame full front in the box body is literally what everyone was saying yes, but they weren't anticipating it being the same basic sensor. Like the G2, the Ursa Mini G2, gorgeous sensor. It has several more stops of dynamic range than the Pockets do. The Pixis gets the same dynamic range. It would be, I think, what everybody really wanted. Everybody doesn't get what they want, but it's. I think what they're missing is a couple of things. But they're pretty close. Like I said, one step away. Need to find a couple that would go for it. So, Ruben, retro look can be really sweet. I have a friend, Adam Grumbo Weddings. He lives about 20 miles down the way. Absolutely incredible wedding. I'm going to call him a cinematographer because he's a little bit more than that. He puts lights and stuff, and he does stuff. He's shot several weddings now in 8mm. And he bought like 6 or 7 8mm film cameras to be able to do this. And now it's something that they're requesting. And they look great. They really, really do. Good evening, everyone. Hello, Dirk. How are you? Felipe. Hey, Scott. Good to see you. According to the president of Nikon, they are ready to develop cameras with RED technology. Yes, they are. They're going to. So there's been some interesting statements made and extrapolations from that. My favorite one was they were taking this statement and another statement and saying, "Oh, they're closing up RED and everything's going to Nikon." Nope. Remember, RED has an extraordinary technology base. Nikon has an extraordinary technology base. They will be merging those. People will get to share internally. And, well, they are. So Nikon will benefit from things that RED has. RED will benefit from things that Nikon has. So yes, RED technology is going to come to Nikon. The thing I don't know, and I wish I had an answer for, is will they just use R3D? And I really wish they would just use RED code in the Nikons. I think it would be a huge boom for them. What I don't know is if it can, if the ASICs in the Nikons like the Z8, can they do it in a way that allows them to just throw it in there? It would be awesome if they did. It would be a $500 upgrade that I think most people would pay for that want R3D. It'd be a slam dunk. Nikon is going to be they're going to be formidable. Just hang tight. Zcam seems to have abandoned their camera department and pushing their lights. I kind of felt that too. It was always weird because like Zcam and Kinefinity were kind of like the two that were almost identical, even though they were completely different. They always felt like one comes out, the other comes out. They're both kind of the same thing. It's kind of a weird one. Bob Gundu, hello, Bob. I want a Boxcar Willie camera. Well, I don't know. Don't touch my Willie. Don't touch my Willie camera. Ruben says a curveball, but let's talk about Kinefinity. That's convenient. They seem to be really good cameras and only lacking compressed RAW. Only Cinema D. G, have you ever used one? I have never used a Kinefinity. I have played with them. I should reach out. They probably don't like me. We tend to butt heads a lot, but then again, maybe they'd be willing to loan me one to review. I would like to. Refill, please. Cinema D and G is a kind of a, it works, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm not super fond of it, but they can't do compressed RAW because obviously the patent is owned by Nikon. But I should reach out. We'll see. I mean, I may get laughed at when I ask. We'll see. If I do get laughed at, I'll share why. Nikon using red RAW is the final straw to make me go there. I mean, if red RAW comes to the Zcams, especially some existing ones that have some power, and then a Komodo Z comes out, I would be really, really interested in making that switch. Maybe Red's Tech can fix the exposure issue while recording vid under extremely high ISO reported on the Z6 III. I haven't kept up on that one. He's upside down again. I have not. I want to get a Z3 to review, but I need to finish up with the Z8 first. It would be really cool to do so. But I'm not an A-list, and you know I'm reasonable, so I'm not pushing for that. Yeah. She's like, psst, psst, you want me to put a little splash of this in there? I'm like, someone said today on Brandon's Live that Canon is the potato camera. I have said potato cam forever. That is the the potato cam was the original C300, then C500, then C100, and I called the Black Magic the fat potato or the football camera. I've always called it a potato cam. That form factor is the I'm gonna be harsh, but it's kind of the dumbest form factor I've seen. You get used to it and it's fine. And potato's not quite Mr. Potato Head. That is the correct thing. You literally did you start? Yes. Cool. It's like the size of holding a Mr. Potato Head in your hands, and let go. That is a weird form factor, and I'm all against weird form factors. The Reds were not exactly a great form factor. Well, the original Reds was not. The Red 1. The Epic was okay. What I liked about the Epic, and I got used to it, is modular. So it's a box, and it's really just kind of a tall, slender box. And when you start adding stuff to it, it gets a little longer and all of that, and it gets a little awkward. I don't agree. I like the box cameras. I I like the FX6 size. The Pixis to me is a little large. It's missing a few little things, but it's okay. It's okay. If Canon Infinity the USA don't want to try reaching Gaffa Gear in Europe, maybe they can help you. Yeah, I believe. Let's see. I'm friends with what's his name? Gaffa. I'm bad with names, but Gaffa is a name. I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I can reach out. We'll see. R3D comes to current Nikon cameras. There goes Sony and Canon market share. Maybe they will take a chunk from it, but if you recall, Canon and Sony both are licensed for compressed RAW. Remember, before Nikon sold, Jared told us everybody who wanted it has been licensed for it. So they all have the ability to do it. Would love a pathway to Z mount for Red. My suspicion, Frank, is there will be no retrofits. My suspicion is it will be new cameras. What I'm really hopeful for is that they can figure out how to go Z to RF. Because, man, I tell you, if they could, whoo. Does the Z8 have better dynamic range than the Z6? Yes, it does. Most definitely has better dynamic range. The Z8 is about close to Komodo OG. Komodo OG's 15-ish stops, and the Z8 is 14-ish stops. The Komodo X is 16-ish, and I see that difference quite a bit. I really like the Z6, the Komodo X over Komodo image quite a bit. But I find that I can match the Z8 quite well to the Reds I have here. The pockets are the ugliest cameras ever made. No. Ruben, have you ever seen the Fran 8K? If you've ever seen the Fran 8K, we could talk about the ugliest cameras ever made. that camera, I'm going to, let's see if I can pull these up here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Open, oh really? Okay, we'll go there. Let's see if I can pull up some Google Fran 8K. I mean, there is basically no uglier camera than the Fran 8K. Let's pull that up. See if I can zoom it out. There we go. No. No. What? Let's try this again. Where's it at? Oh, there we go. This is the Fran 8K. And it is by far, in my opinion, the ugliest camera ever made. It has 3 buttons on top. It requires 2 power supplies. Let me see what else I can find on this. Requires a mouse Here's Mr. Philip Bloom. I will, of course, Mr. Philip, I will happily. What is going on here? There it is. So it's 6. Yeah, there's Philip Bloom in his very brief Fran 8K, 47 megapixel 8K VistaVision. Sorry. Yeah. Where's his? Oh, he didn't have the mouse pick. Oh, it was. It's a brilliant review if you've never watched it. Let's see here. Visa. Visa? I don't know what Visa. I accept Visa, yes. Inlog is really holding back Nikon's cameras from my test. What, DM, we should chat. I don't know how much gatekeeping you do as well, but we should chat offline. I'd love to chat, maybe video chat, and talk about what you do with Inlog and what I do with Inlog, because I am not a colorist. I barely play one on TV. I do my best, and I've gotten quite a bit out of it, but I'm always interested in learning from others too. Jerome, yes, exactly who, yes. Oh my God, I can't play that, but that was unbelievably spectacular. I literally cannot play that. That would get me demonetized because that dude demonetizes everybody. It was, it's this guy, he's Italian. He's Italian, right? Pretty sure he's Italian. And he gets up there with a guitar, but he's playing Steve Vai, but he's not playing it. It's Steve Vai, literally, the music in the background. And he's got a friend with a Ferrari, and he's showing off this incredible footage. It doesn't look that good. It doesn't look that good. I need to find the mouse, because, man, the Fran 8K with the mice was hilarious. And poor Philip Bloom, he had both his power supplies in there, and they had sent him like the wrong. He never could get it to boot up. It was nigh impossible to boot, even with both of the. Oh, there's the video. Oh man, let's see. Maybe if I. Okay. I will do this much. So here's well that that's not a flattering image. Let's see. So there's him. Let's see. Is this the Ferrari? No, this is the outside. Not awesome. Oh, here's the Ferrari. We have a Ferrari. The nighttime imagery. Look at that. Look at the beautiful bokeh. Okay, I don't want to do too much because it'll get me demonetized. But yeah, that was what was that? 5 years ago? Whew. Yeah, it was. It was an amazing camera. Let's see. I actually am enjoying Inlog. I think it's a great first start. I think it would be better if they just went R3D. If you could have one camera that exists, what would it be? Raptor X. Every day and twice on Sundays. Raptor X is by far the most capable camera on the market, period. Second to that, I would probably choose the Venice 2 or the Alexa 35. I'd probably would go towards the Alexa 35 a little bit, even though it's only 4K until. I've seen what some good colors have done with B-Log, and it's impressive. Yes, I agree. Fairless Syntax, hello. I'm confused, Scott. Blackmagic doesn't offer L mount on the new. Well, it's because doesn't the new Cine 12 have internal ND? It's really hard to get that in. Narrow. Pixis little sister comes in L, EF, or PL if you choose the L mount and invest on L lenses. And it's all about the sensor that's in there and what they can do. And I don't know, Phil, if Phil's listening, Phil might be able to chime in, or maybe he's not allowed to, on my guess is they've added some OLPF on these new ones to help with the IR pollution. The L mount needs to go away. It really does, because it's never going to be big. It's never going to be. I wish it could, but Canon, Sony, and Nikon are never going to give up theirs. Cinema's never going to give up PL. Never say never, but it's going to be hard. So going to L doesn't check boxes. Somehow they're making it more difficult for you to upgrade the. Yeah, I'm planning to acquire the Pixis, so I have to choose PL. I like PL myself. I'm definitely a PL kind of guy. Some lenses between photo and video, it seems like the best in terms of IQ is better to have separate video and photo cameras. Hybrids will always be. There's truth to that. I like that Red went RF. I like what RF lenses are doing in some respects. In other respects, I can't stand what they're doing. And that is because I don't like cheating. And I want to say cheating when a lens doesn't do optically what it needs to do, and they fix it in post in the camera. They do that by fixing, say, on the 24-105 2.8 on the Canon RF, they fix the vignetting in camera. It vignettes. You know it vignettes if you put it on the same size sensor on another camera that doesn't have the vignette fix on it. The 28-70 f2, which is a gorgeous lens. Come to find out, it's not f2 all the way through. They call it an f2 lens, but when you zoom in, it's not f2. It's digitally corrected in camera. They fixed it in post to make it act like it is f2 all the way through, but it's not. If you put it on a camera that doesn't have fixes for that, you'll see it. I like RF on Reds because it opened up the door to tiny, and I love tiny. The rocking the Komodo X and this little guy right here. Look at him, so pretty now. The GDU 50mm RF lens. It is awesome. It is the cheapest Canon lens, and it's pretty dang fantastic of a cheap lens. And it's what, 1.8? Yeah, f1.8. And GDU just taking it to the limit and just illuminizing it and making it incredible. But you slap this on a Komodo X, it's tiny. It is tiny. And I love that. And I like that Red opened up that door because we can adapt PL to RF using Breakthrough or many others. And it does really good. V-Raptor X still footage is very impressive. I could use it. You absolutely can King. DSMC stands for Digital Stills and Movie Camera. I was like, whoa, where was the number? Where's the video in there? DSVC? No, DSMC. It is for still. You can pull stills. All you need to do is go in there and set your shutter speed to a fast shutter speed and light appropriately. And you can pull crisp, clean, beautiful stills that you can manipulate in post. Do you think no Z mount on Raptor X? I don't think that. I think Red will come out with Z bodies right next to what's out there. Raptor X is and Komodo X. To me, both of those are really new. So I think we're going to see a Raptor Z and a Komodo Z. It would be obvious, the naming, but we'll see. And have them side by side. Maybe they spec bump them, maybe not. I don't think they need to. And at that point, I think it's up to them to let the market decide. And I think that's what they would do. If the market says, nope, we're staying on RF, and they're not selling as many Zs, then they have some thinking to do. If they see a lot of people go to Z, they may phase out RF. They have the license for RF. Canon's letting them keep it. If they can make that RF to Z or Z to RF, I mean to tell you, they would sell a bazillion Nikon or Raptor Zs and Raptor or Komodo Zs. That's my opinion. That Raptor X sensor on a Z8 body is going to slap hard though. Yeah, that's not going to happen. you got to understand. Pull it back there. Raptor X requires so much cooling. Remember, there's a Peltier cooler in Raptors that sits behind the sensor that keeps it at a specific temperature that you black shade at. And it can vary that 30 plus degrees either way. Meaning, if you are inside at 70 degrees and you go outside at 90 degrees, you don't have to re-black shade because it can keep that difference and keep it cool. Peltiers require power. They output cold and they input heat, or vice versa. You just reverse them and they output heat, and or they give out heat this way and cold the other way. The amount of power that is drawn by Raptor is considerable because you have a sensor, which doesn't consume too much power, but the Peltier does, and you have processing for it. All of that, if you look at a Raptor, that's mostly heatsink in there. Mostly heatsink. So it would slap awesome for about 12 minutes. The little Nikon battery ain't going to keep up with that. We'd love to rig a Z8 body, though. I think if they were to do a Z8, I don't know. I don't think I'd cross-contaminate too much. I was thinking of like a Komodo-style body for a Z8 with R3D in it. I thought that would be cool. I don't think it would be. I think that would, by cross-contaminating, call it the pinnacle of Nikon and then the beginning of Red. We'll just let Red do those, I think. To be used. So this is something that I brought up on Brandon Washington's live stream, and he was talking about the R5 Mark II, the R5 Mark I, and the R5C. And if you remember, the R5 came out, and everybody's like, whoa, 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 it overheats, it does all this stuff, because people were using it for the 8K video. It wasn't designed as a video camera. It was designed as a stills camera that shoots video, and it happens to shoot video in 8K. It was for stills photographers that also wanted to shoot some 8K. What happened was, it was the cheapest way to get 8K. People want that. So the overheating became a problem. They came out with the R5C, which was a rapid shift from the R5 to get it to incorporate the things necessary for video. When the R5 came out, the R5's been out for several years now. You got to think, it was in development for 3 years before that. Back then, people were still stills photographers and video with a mild crossover. Now it's massively crossed over. R5C, there's not going to be an R5C Mark II. That's not happening. That was never roadmapped. The R5C was not roadmapped. It was a stopgap. We're going to see stills cameras that are a little beefier, and we're going to see cinema cameras is what we're going to see from Red. To be used for different purposes, I want to have a cinema-style camera, but also mirrorless to use as bare bones. I feel you, and I don't disagree. I personally love having a stills camera. I do. I love having a high-resolution stills camera. This thing literally checks every box for me, and it does so in a way that Canon currently does not. And I'm transparent about that. The highlights on this, even though the dynamic range is better on this anyway, but the highlights on this are far better than the R5 and the R5C. I think the highlights on this are comparable to the C70. However, the C70 has better dynamic range than this. Do you think we will see any tech move from Nikon to Red autofocus? Oh yeah, absolutely. Firmware guys are going to absolutely be pushing. Also, what's in these cameras, the ASICs that are in here are exceptionally powerful and power friendly. And Nikon they are a hardware manufacturer. They can design and build all of that. Red can say, they can go to an ASIC company and say, this is what we need it to do. And they build it, but they're like, okay, well, we can build it for you specific, and you have to buy 10 million units, or we'll build it for you and we'll make it publicly available, which is fine. ASICs oddly don't get used too terribly much that way because it's being designed for a specific purpose. ASICs are highly specialized processors. In other words, if I just want to take this lighter and I want to move it to here, and all I want to do is just move it back and forth, back and forth. If I chose an off-the-shelf CPU to do that, or a processor, I might have to write some code to have it move that so that it understands to move that. And I might have to have some code to move it back. And I might have to have some code to tell it you need to move it back and forth. An ASIC literally is physically designed with the move in there. So when you're speccing out an ASIC, you're saying, I need to take this amount of data, compress it into this amount, and I need you to be able to pass this amount of processing. I need you to be able to do this particular type of compression, which is, why it was so hard to do Red decodes and decompression before they opened up their development kit to NVIDIA and consequently Apple at that point, was because it took ASICs. That's why the Red Rockets existed, because they were the ASICs that were in the camera, specifically on a card, so that your computer, which did not have the ability, everything was having to software through the CPUs that we had and the GPUs at the time to do that. Well, when when Red opened it up, they showed NVIDIA, this is what we do in the ASIC. Do this in your software, in your GPU, and you don't need our ASICs anymore. So as a very long-winded answer to say, Nikon builds and designs these ASICs, and they do it really, really well specifically for this. So Red will not have to go to generic ASIC company. They just say, Nikon, this is what we need. And Nikon can do it. And everybody wins. So most certainly you're going to get Nikon ASICs. You're going to get Nikon firmware guys and gals and people and animals and pets and cats and all that. They know stuff. So they're going to be able to help as well. Reds with Z-mount will be very useful as they can be easily adapted to E-mount, which is at the moment more popular. We'll see though. Nikon is serious. You saw their announcements on their lens factory. So Nikon kind of over the last few years sold off and closed off some of their lens factories, or closed down and moved some of that stuff to China, and relied on others to help with their lens stuff, which is not the end of the world. That's fine. I mean, we were literally just talking about, I was at the optometrist yesterday. We were talking about how Chinese opticals have become so good. But Nikon just announced they're going to spend $1.3 billion. Is that what I remember? $1.3 billion to build a new optics factory. That's not kidding. That's not playing around. That's full force. They buy a cinema camera company. They build a new optics factory. They have all the puzzle pieces. They do. E-mount is very easy, and they have a really good marketing. They're very good cameras. They're very good lenses. The Sony lenses are fantastic. But Z-mount wins because it can convert to L, it can convert to RF, it can convert to E, it can convert to EF, PL, Z, F mount. It can convert to any of them because it has the fattest throat, it has the closest distance to the sensor. Everything can adapt, and we already know Z can go to E, and RF has 4 millimeters as opposed to 2 millimeters. Sorry, I got to talk to somebody this evening, and their availability is tough, so I got to schedule that appropriately. He's like, I'm gonna get on your live stream and mess with you. Ruben says not gonna happen, but it doesn't stop us from dreaming. You never know. You never know. Are you still interested in picking up the Raptor? Absolutely. 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 Yeah, there are changes coming, and I will speak to them at some point. I will just tease them for now. There are changes coming that will allow me to accomplish said goal for lots of reasons. Felipe says, we can imagine a red camera with a Z-mount, 12K and HDR, high frame rate Nikon, autofocus, a global shutter. I don't think you're going to see 12K. Here's my guess. I don't think we're going to see a resolution push for a little while. Because no one's asking for it. And let's be clear, pun intended, the 12K cameras and the 17K cameras from Blackmagic are not 12K and 17K resolution. They have 12K of pixels. They have what they call clear pixels in there to help with their dynamic range. Clear pixels do not add resolution at all. So you got to go look at their pattern and determine how many clear pixels are in there. It's a lot. So you need to understand that a 12K Ursa is a 4K camera. It's a 4.6K camera. So no one's asking for 12K. Apple may be asking for it, but Apple's kind of stuck too, in that until they come out with their new version, a cheaper version of their headset, they're going to have a hard time getting adopters. VistaVision is a nice size, medium format. I would flat out love a medium format. But what lenses can we use? There are quite a few lenses that we could use. However, basically, Red had it roadmapped. They were going to do it. Very few people wanted it. And the worst problem was very few lenses to support it. That's a problem. So there's not a market to sell to. But let's say there's a company that owns an optics factory as well. Maybe they could. I don't think we're going to see 12K or 16K for a while. Real ones. Fellow Syntax says, when I made my question about the prospects of L, it was divided in 3 parts. Why? That's why I wrote continues at the end. You read as 3 separate comments. Oh, gotcha. Don't understand why YouTube limits. It's to keep it appearing on there. Minimally for such a small limit. Yep, I hear you. We're very limited by these corporations that treat us like basic people who cannot think more than a couple of emoticons. Sure. Yeah, I mean, the flip side of that is, and I'm not saying anything here. Don't read into that. I am super nerdy and I can read really, really fast. Is it a turnoff for someone to read a paragraph on screen? I feel like it is. I feel like most people's attention spans don't support that. So they limit it to keep it from getting, absolutely crazy. But it's also a live thing. It's not you can have a really, really long comment in a video, but not for lives. And that would be specifically because we're reading a feed as well. And if you were to type up a paragraph and put it on there, everything that was above it, I can't read it anymore, which means I have to go back and scroll up to get to it, and it can cause problems. So I understand it. Imagine your replies to be limited no more than 45 seconds speaking. Don't know how to change that. Corporations rule the world nowadays. Nobody complains. It's called complacency. All you have to do is dangle a little carrot in front of them and take away something behind them. It's incrementalism. You can go political on that if you want, but AI. Hey, we're going to give you AI. There's your carrot. What are they taking away in the background? Your freedom, your personal information. King says, join the stream. We all need to go live with Scott. I'm up for that. I can do that. Do you think Nikon would come with some hybrid lenses similar to Lumix, which are good for video and stills? Yeah, I do. I see no reason now anybody that's manufacturing lenses why they wouldn't color match. There's no reason they can't, and they should. On top of that, you can build the features in with all these electronic lenses. Jason, hello, Jason. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Phil says, my first year shooting VistaVision was a wild year. Takeda and Cook were the first to market with proper VistaVision glass. Lots of companies since. This is true. Larger format than that, really not much out there currently, but there are things. There are things. And I mean, there there are some really large format cinema lenses out there. Doesn't Panavision have some 60 plus millimeter image circle sensor or lenses? I swear I read that. I'm not super high up on Panavision stuff, so it's hard to know. Edixon, what's going on, brother? Glad to see you doing well. Log on prosumer cameras. Thought? Gimmick. I think it's a gimmick. Or actually usable in the real. It's to take something that's relatively unknown, get it to a place that's relatively known, so you can now use it. In the way of the G7 from Panasonic, grading their log footage is kind of a pain in the butt. Colorist, you can step in on that one. I never liked grading Panasonic footage, vlog. But there's a bazillion tutorials out there how to do ARRI log. So you convert it to that, and then people can work with it from there, and they understand it better. It's kind of a gimmick to me. Oh, you said it twice. There we go. King says, Phil, question. Before I complete EF Otis set, would you recommend Tokina for the VistaVision proper fit over Otis? That is definitely a Phil question. If you go for still lenses for medium format, Fuji has a bunch of somewhat affordable lenses. I like Fuji lenses. Fujinon makes beautiful stuff. I find Vlog quite pleasing, very similar to F-Log. I never liked it. Never, ever liked it. I also didn't like the color science in Panasonics. I don't like blue-green skies. And, you know, it's quite irritating for me shooting the Pacific Coast because I like blue water. The Pacific Coast is blue-green. And it's really irritating. If you look at any of my videos, why am I talking like this? Like I'm from California? I don't know why. If you look at any of my videos where I film the Pacific Ocean, I add a lot more blue and take out green and add a touch more of magenta in there just to give it a color that I think looks better. It's subjective, but I always thought that was funny. Jason, how are things up in your neck of the woods? Way, way up there. Way, way up there on the North Pacific. The let's see here. Recommendation on best entry-level complete run and gun setup for dock work, body and lens. How much money do you want to spend? Because quite honestly, if you're on the super cheap, the Sony FX30 and probably their 24 to 105, that's one heck of a combo. Okay, you're at 5,000, pick up a used FX6 with a 24 to 105. I don't think there's a more capable camera for the money that's easy to use, has all the bells and whistles. It's a great image. It's a great sensor. If you don't want to do that, FX3 is cheaper. I would definitely do that. Run and gun, you definitely want the features of autofocus and low light. And the FX3, FX6, and FX30 surprisingly has really good low light. But the low light capabilities, all those things add up to a beautiful camera package. Sunny and 65. Well, that is very nice. That won't last. You only got, 2 more days of summer? King, I still use my Otis Primes, but Takinas are proper PL glass and extremely high quality. Currently some of the best money can really buy. They are my primary most used set. 18 to 180. I can't fault that. They are some of the most beautiful glass. If if my career ever launches, it's my fault, to the point, I will own a set of Vistas. They are beautiful. They really, really are. I enjoy shooting with them every single time I get to. Quite literally. All right, let's throw some questions out there. Who's got some last minute questions? Because we're coming up here on time, and I mean, if it's popping, you know, I go a long time. I'll go 8 hours. I got no problem with that. But if it slows down, then, you know, I know everybody's ready to go eat pizza. Where's my... I'm looking for my charging cable. I don't have to... really? Why is that on there? Is VHB tape the best tape ever invented for sticking anything to anything? I mean to tell you, I invested in VHB tape. I have a roll. I've had it for like 10 years. I love it. You can stick anything to anything, except for oil and dirt. Can't stick it to dirt. Come on, who's got questions? Who's got questions? Ruben says, it's 1 a.m. here. My wife and daughter are asleep. I'll stay till the end, whatever happens. Ha! Well, Ruben, I encourage you to go, since you're relatively new here, go back through the live streams, specifically when I had guests on, which they are going to come. They are, I promise. But like, I interviewed some amazing DPs. We went with man, now he's going to hate me. Pappert, Charles Pappert. There we go. Charles Pappert. We went 8+ hours live streaming, and Charles Pappert worked on so many stuff. He did his DP for Crank Acres, DP for Key and Peele. He worked on Office Space. Just awesome guy. Just truly awesome. 8+ hours we went. We've had so many on that are amazing. Go back and watch those. You can watch those back at like 1.5 times. Also, find Mark Toya. If you want to be inspired, find the interview with the late, great Mark Toya. About 3.5, maybe 4 hours on that one. Packed full of info. It was amazing. For listen text, last live I remember Phil Holland commenting that he had a chance to play with the Cine 12K. Could he tell us his impressions on its image quality? I'm intrigued and looking forward to the look of that cam. I would speculate that he cannot, since it's not out there. He's probably not allowed to talk about it. Holger, hello. How are you? Definitely will watch. I like listening to podcasts while I'm editing. Yeah, Ruben, some of these you're going to want to watch, because when we have the guests on, we do also Shane Hurlbut. Shane Hurlbut was awesome. We do a lot of BTS, behind the scenes stuff, and showing, you know, talking about how things were lit. Also, I'm really excited that we will have David Weldon on when it gets released in the theaters, which I don't know exactly when, but it's going to Toronto Film Festival. When it's released to theaters, we will have David Weldon on. We will probably have, if I can get the gaffer on here, I'm sure I can talk him into it. And we might even be able to get Joseph Kahn on here to talk about directing it. It's such a great movie. Cannot wait for everyone to see it. Really can. But yeah, there's lots of those to go back and watch. Just all of those, find them. I'm just starting out. Should I buy Calibrate for Shooting Vlog? No, I get the Passport Video. I'm hoping it's right here. I can't see because it's so dark. If only there was a giant flashlight right here. Let me see here. I thought I had it. Nope. I need to clean off my cart. Well, I don't have that right handy. Passport video. It is. It's slightly larger than this. Maybe a little bit larger, but it's very thin, and you can open it up and get your color on there. But yes, it is a great way. It is a thing you should never not do. Honestly, you just pop that passport color checker up, passport video color checker, pop it up there, go into DaVinci Resolve and line those up. Put your chiclets on there, and it will get you to a good place. But also now, most cameras, what are you shooting on? Hall videos? What camera? Most of them will have a Rec 709 conversion, which is nice. What you can do is convert it and get it there. You can get there pretty easy. I was on with you guys for all 8 hours. It was awesome, dude. It was awesome. I want to do that again. I want Charles to be able to talk some more. Holger says, Scott, I'm great. How are you? Nice to be back. Excellent. Ruben says, here's a question. Would you ever shoot wedding? No, I am done with weddings. You're rather new here, Ruben, but I cannot stand weddings, mostly because I'm a perfectionist to a fault, as most of us creatives are. Everything with a wedding is not about me. It's about the bride and the groom, and everything else comes first. And so I'm always picking up the pieces of, how do I get this shot? Oh, great, the photographer just ran in front of me. Oh, great, how do I get this shot? Oh, they decided to stand in front of a water fountain that's constantly going. How am I going to get that audio? All of that stuff. I don't like rejection and disappointment, and I have had numerous problems with weddings in the past where something goes out of control, and I just don't want to do them. I really don't. But there are people that like that. I mean, it's an interesting genre. My buddy Adam Grumbo, he shoots weddings. He's booked basically every weekend throughout the year, and it's interesting that he can tell a completely different story for each couple, and that's cool. That's fun. I don't like that stress. I don't like that. I like to be able to plan and visualize everything that's going to happen, even though I'm really bad about writing it all down. In my brain, I can see it all, but when I can't and I can't control it, oh man, bugs me. When you say that the Blackmagic Cine has a resolution of 4.6, how do you do the math? Is there a rule of thumb, the number of pixels to real resolution? No. So what it is, Feral Syntax, there is on a bare pattern, you have red, green, and blue. And typically you have twice as many greens as you have red and blue. Well, you have 2 greens for each red and blue. And so each one of those is a photo site. And each one of those is a color. And then they use math to determine what was red with what. But each one of those is physically a photo site, which means it counts on resolution. So when you look at anything with a bare pattern, a 8K Nikon, for instance, there are 8K of photo sites in there. What Blackmagic does is they use what's called clear pixels. They're photo sites, but they're clear. They don't have any color information whatsoever. And they don't use a bare pattern. They use their own pattern. But there are a ton of clear pixels in there. But clear pixels don't contribute to resolution. Meaning there's a red, there's a green, there's a blue, and there's a clear, and there's a clear. These 2 clears do not count for resolution at all. So you just have the 3. So I forget what the ratio is. I think it's 3 and 3. I'm trying to remember what it is. But basically, you have to strip out all those clear pixels or the clear photo sites out of the resolution to find out what it can actually deliver. Now, it does contribute to dynamic range. There's a reason for them to be there. I don't fault them for doing that. What I do not agree with is them marketing it as 12K cameras or 17K cameras, because they are not. Now, what is great is that if you take all of that information, the 12K of photo sites, and you bring it to 4K, gorgeous. The amount of information that you have in that 4K is phenomenal. But if you go to, and you can find it out there, go find some 12K footage where they zoom in to 100%. It looks just like an iPhone. I mean, it has that same kind of, it doesn't look right because it's not designed to be a 12K. It's just bad marketing, in my opinion. Sony FX30. So there are easy ways to go S-Log3 and use the FX30 and go straight to Rec 709. If you look up Darren Moisten, every week I say this name and I can't remember it, and somebody in the comments will always correct me properly, but Darren Moisten, I should have him on here just because he's so good. He has a great video out there. Find him. He's a colorist on his custom node tree. It's the one from a few months ago. Set up DaVinci Resolve with that node tree in all the settings that he does, and then tell it it's Sony S-Log3 with the Cinema Gamut. You'll be blown away at how great it will look. Rob says, Scott, do you think adding a battery grip to a Z8 would help heat issues enough to justify the cost? Nope. Battery grip will not help the heat issues. It's contained heat. You can't get the heat out is the problem. What you hate about the weddings is what I love. And like I said, it's for different people. I have screwed up so many weddings, and I've not done that many. What did we say, 4 or 5? And I feel so bad. And like the worst one was, I think it was the third wedding I shot, and I was on a Canon XL1, and I got some of the best footage ever, some of the best B-roll everywhere. For whatever reason, either I hit record or I didn't hit record the entire ceremony. I had nothing for them. What an idiot. What a disaster. What a way to destroy someone's dream, to not have the memory. I felt so bad, and I didn't want to do that. The next one after that was my cousin. And I have to tell you, I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened. But hold on, let me see if I can find it. I wonder if it's out there. The audio on Capture was so hot, and it wasn't. I was monitoring it, and I don't know what happened that it got so hot. Let's see. So it is out there. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste this to. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get to my live stream. I'll paste it. This is the wedding. You can watch it afterwards. This is that wedding, and it took 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years, before AI was good enough to fix the audio. And at that point, I created that video for them. That was all I could do with what I'd done. I was, again, completely devastated. I swore up and down that I would never, ever shoot another wedding. And lo and behold, my nephew begged and pleaded for us to film their wedding. And that one was another one that I was just like, how do you say no to your nephew? You don't, because you're a good uncle. And this was the couple that they decided they wanted to take their vows right in front of the water fountain that was running. And I had no ability to get their audio worth a flip. I got some of it. AI was able to get some of that, but oof, it was tough. Holger says, I want to tap into the imagination and knowledge of present here. Going to shoot a female personal trainer, fitness coach. She's a weightlifter, all-around badass chick. Style suggestions, high contrast, get some slow-mo. Do this, Holger. Shoot in, Holger, can you shoot at 48 frames a second? Is my question. FS 700R. I'm trying to remember if it has, I don't think it does. If you could shoot at 48 with a 360 shutter. Oh, it does. Okay. Shoot at 48 frames a second, shoot a 360 shutter. What that gives you is two things. Number one, it gives you 48 frames a second slow-mo when you need it. It won't be the best slow-mo, but it will be slow-mo. You'll have a little extra motion blur in that slow-mo, but it'll be fine. You'll think it's great. What it also gives you is when you conform it to 24 frames a second, it has a 180-degree shutter. This is a trick that I learned on one of the live streams from one of the DPs that we had on. You get regular 24, 180-degree shutter all day long, and then you get 2x slow-mo, all built in. Shoot that. High contrast. I really like high contrast on that stuff. Personal trainers, fitness coaches, get atmosphere in the room if you can. Fog it up a little bit. Oh, you missed DM Colorist. I was going to say I wanted to talk with you personally, probably off the live stream sometime, so we could compare how you're doing in RAW on coloring. And I don't know if you have to gatekeep or not, because so I figured we'd do it that privately. If we can make that happen, that'd be awesome. Personal trainer style suggestions. You also might 90-degree shutter on, 180-degree shutter on the 48 frames a second. I don't think 24 with a 90 would look that bad with a personal trainer. You're doing fitness, because sometimes you might want, like if they're deadlifting, then the rise up, you might want to accelerate that. And then, you get to the part where they're getting to that last little spot, or their knees are locking, what have you. Doing that at a higher shutter speed or faster shutter speed wouldn't be out of the question in my mind. Fog that room up, some, not too much. Get some hard lights in there. Make it make it seem like, have some ambient light, but have some hard lights hitting them like it's a comedian on a stage, where you get that hard, because it gives them the edge, which it's harsh, it's sharp, it gives that edgy look, which is a character for a personal trainer, someone who's lifting weights, who's a badass, who's doing stuff. You're giving them edgy look. So you're putting emphasis on the character. That's how I would approach it. But others in there can chime in as they would like. Also plan on script weddings, and I shoot them down. Wow, good for you, because man, they have never been on script for me. Want to tap into the huge imagination? Oh yeah, I already got that. Okay. Ruben says, I used a Blackmagic 12K for video for the idea to be able to zoom in full body and face close up. I left extremely disappointed when I saw the image was quite bad quality. Right. At 8K, it's okay, but at 4K, it's gorgeous. It's literally a G3. G3. I guess it is a G3. Yep. Other than weddings, what other gigs do you turn down? I don't do very many music videos. I don't have a lot of luck with them, mostly because they end up turning into a crapshoot. There's another word for that that rhymes with chip and show. I turn down gigs where they're completely unrealistic. They don't exactly know what they want. I pushed away a client once on a shoot that they had scheduled for 8 to 5 day one, and I think it was 11 a.m. to about 5 on day 2. I went through all of their script of everything and the number of scenes that they needed to shoot, which was a vast number of lighting changes. Those couldn't be done in 1.5 days. They had to be done at least 2 full days, 12-hour days. But I said, you need 3 for this, because they had night shoots outside with a campfire. They had morning. They had a bunch of stuff that needed to occur on the same day, that neither of those were in the same time block. They were 8 to 5. That's not morning. That's not sunset. That's not night. And night was not an option. But they wanted exterior night with a campfire. And I was like, look, this is what I require to do this. And I never saw the spot. I don't know that it ever happened that way, because I don't know how they were going to do it that way. And I sent the script to a DP, a friend of mine who's also gaffs, and I said, dude, how many days is this for you? And he's like, 3. Just gut checking myself. So, yeah, that's what I turned down. Other than that, I don't turn down that much. Love it. Yes. Okay. Had to leave and come back. Right, what we're talking about. But resolution isn't a black and white thing, luminance. That's why we can have a sensor that only measures luminance and not color and have impressive resolution. That's correct. Black and white sensor, but I'll explain. If this is correct, those clear pixels should contribute to luminance resolution, not color resolution. They can't. There's a lot smarter people than me who have gone in and quadrupled down on this, on some long discussions on Facebook. I am not ultra qualified to explain. I can explain what I know, but I can't react to the simultaneous questions that will occur from that. I can't answer those because I am not that intelligent, because it is literally engineering. it is a fact that those clear pixels do not contribute to resolution. That is an absolute. And from there, you'd have to go find those threads. They were wild. Geez, thanks so much. You're welcome. Sure thing, Scott. Sent you a DM on Instagram. Thank you, bro. Definitely want to chit chat. We can share some war stories, but mostly I'll just learn from you. Ruben says, Holger, make it as gritty. Yep. Let's see the sweat off of her face. That's also a good point. When they're doing like ropes and things like that, or when they're doing, depending on if they're like CrossFit or anything like that, they're going to use talc. Get it talky. Get the pop and the go and make them move fast. So a lot of times when you're trying to get that, they put their hands in the powder and they do that. They're doing it specifically for the shot, and you need to make sure that they do it and immediately go do what they're doing, and then you might have them do it a couple times, because what happens is they do this and they stop and it doesn't cut because they stopped moving, and you want that purposeful movement. So they're going to reach up. So you want to take that purposeful movement that from this, and they go like this. Now you could cut to, I'm grabbing this or I'm grabbing that, because you need the next movement. If they just go, then you can't cut it, because doing this doesn't go straight to this. But talk to them, see if they're okay with it. A little olive oil, put it on their body, on their face, on their extremities. You put that on there and get a spray bottle. You can make sweat like you wouldn't believe, and it shows up unbelievably pretty. And it gives them a nice sheen as well. Makes them look like they're working out. Makes them look like they're working on everything. Don't just concentrate on the lighting and camera movement. Make sure you translate her emotions through the camera. Yes. Show effort. You can show effort in the face, the eyes, the muscles, the movement, the jumping off of, if they're on bars and they're doing pull-ups and they jump down, the feet slapping on the table. Can absolutely do that. Justine, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Scott gave great technical advice, but do think about the story and emotion. For sure. The question was, how do you shoot it? That's how I would shoot it, but definitely you do need a story that you're wanting to tell, and put emotions in your story, bring emotions to your movements and your lighting and such. Gritty, I think, looks good. But yeah, what is the story that you want to tell? It sounds similar to the F-65, oddly enough. Oddly enough, it was a really good 4K sensor. Was thinking about sweat close-up and talcum powder right away. Love those details, close-ups, yep. I shot one with a friend, Jim, who was on a live stream a long time ago. We did one, it was, I just mentioned it, the CrossFit. We had a lot of fun. We shot that with Red and with Blackmagic Ursa, 4.6. And it was great. We got some great footage out of that. I tend to like those videos desaturated a little bit. I probably wouldn't bake it in, but I would try to do it and post some with some halation. Get some bloom in there on the lighting and such. Basically, in that scenario, if you make it harsh and gritty, desaturated, you get a little halation in there, you get some bloom on the lights, you're creating the visual that this is a harsh environment. It's difficult. It makes you want to squint because everything it's not out of focus, but the bloom makes you feel like you've been working out too much or what have you. Everything is an emotion that you want to bring to it. Just short-lived body style. Glycerin and water in a spray bottle? Yes, glycerin and water is great. I use that on products to create the sweat on the sides because it'll stay on the side and not disappear. Olive oil on the skin, and then water makes it kind of stick around as well. And it gives them that delicious skin flavor. Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to put the oil on their skin directly. You can actually mix the... Oh, well, I was doing it... you don't. You're right. If you're just going to spray, then glycerin is what you want because it's food safe. And you just mix that with the water. And you can buy that on Amazon. But oiling up their skin, they're going to do that. I mean, like bodybuilders, they oil up their skin so they look really sexy, I guess, or what have you. But you oil them up, it gives them that they're not just sweating, but they are just totally drenched. She's an immigrant. She's been overcoming obstacles all her life. Working with her body made her believe in herself. That's her story. Okay. So you need to go two sides to the story. You need the person. You need the activity. You need the person before, the activity, and what the activity has done to now the person. So think of gritty and harsh when she's working out, and not necessarily soft. Give her an edge, but subdued, more colorful, more not necessarily beauty lighting because you still want her to appear that she's still coming from the gym kind of thing. But you need to introduce her softer side. Have her. I mean, the way out a very nice, well lit interview, 2 cameras, microphone, and I would interview her, and I would have her tell her story, interview style. So you don't hear my questions, but she's saying that. I would ask, "Did you have a rough childhood?" Obviously, clear things ahead of time with her, but don't tell her the questions ahead of time. Just find out what you're allowed to talk about, what not. I just have her reply back in like a standard interview is like, my childhood was rough. We had these find those parts of the story. Get the personal side. Intercut with B-roll. So as you get her interview, telling her about her life, what working out's done for her, and how she feels about herself now you have the story parts to get the B-roll. So you're going to need B-roll of her working out that you're going to throw in there. You might even stop the interview and cut in with a 5-second montage of some loud, you just work it out, doing the things, and then sorry, throat is just. And then go back to the interview. She could be talking over on top of her working out. Maybe it's something slower. Maybe it's stretches. When I was a young girl, I didn't believe in myself and my body. She's stretching out. I had problems. You think of it. Let her story guide your B-roll. That's how I would do it. And then you end up with like a 3 or 4 or 5 minute piece with some beauty shots before, intercut what she did, and then now her in life where she's confident, she's happy, she's better about herself, she feels good about being an immigrant that wants to fit in, and have her in crowds, or have her interacting and laughing, have her drinking a beverage with friends to show the transformation. That's my. And it's pretty cookie cutter. I mean, my thoughts are not probably far off from many others, but work with something like that is any good. Thanks, Grant. She's an immigrant. You could use detailed shots that emphasize features showing her ethnicity. Show, don't tell. Yep. But let her tell her story, and you don't have to use all the parts. Would you use your Oh yeah, I use my KX for documentaries a lot. I do enjoy them. How is color resolution measured? So color The way Bear works, I can talk about Bear pattern. You have a photo site with green, a photo site with red, a photo site with green, and a photo site with blue. They measure the luminance from each photo site. They know. They then use blue is going to be the least amount of luminance. They will use that blue photo site's values and the green's photo site values and where they are. Oh man, how do I show this? Where they are next to each other, so they can calculate if this blue is next to this green and this green and this green and this green. These two greens are dark. These two greens are bright. Then this blue, you would take the sum, the average of these two, and add it to the blue to give you the luminance of the blue. That is a overly summarized because they actually will take them in groups and do it. The red, they do the same thing. They look at the green next to it and the red next to it and all of that. They can actually take the luminance of the red and the luminance of the green that's next to it. If this green is really, really dark, this red is really, really bright, then they know that this green is probably green and really, really bright. Yeah, man, I have wanted to have Graham from Red on here many, many times, and he just works with so much top secret stuff that he's afraid to be on because he doesn't want to ever compromise anything. And there's so much that he knows, and he has schooled me. I mean, I have been flat out wrong in my assumptions on how things worked, and I have learned from these great engineers who with many years of experience how it's actually done. What my original assumption was that an 8K red sensor, an 8K Bear pattern, is not a true 8K. I said it's only as much as the red-green across. And it's flat out wrong. And he shared with me some of the math that's done. And they know this works because they can validate it, which goes back to when I talk about true compressed raw versus baked in, like Blackmagic's is baked in. With a red, I can go to a pixel on the screen from the camera, and you can work back. I can't physically do it, but a red engineer can. They can physically work back through the entire pipeline and know exactly what the value, the luminance value was of that photo site that is directly addressed or directly at it. They can do that. They also know the exact color because they have programmed these algorithms to validate. And when they get an algorithm, they test it and they put up patterns that would break it, and until the algorithm works perfectly. Now, you can compress it too much. When you compress, if you go to like an LQ or an ELQ, you are degrading that a little bit. But in HQ on a red, you can take that value all the way back. It's virtually lossless. And I was schooled hard. I went out there and I told everyone I was wrong. I was flat out wrong. It is fascinating what you can do with algorithms. Put it that way. And you have a second part to your question. So you said different cameras should see colors differently so you can match them, but color resolution has to do with distinguishing subtle changes in color tonality. Yeah, so don't know how to measure it. Yeah, but with Blackmagic, those clears aren't resolution. They aren't in their pattern for resolution. They're in for luminance only. They literally don't count in resolution. That's why when you zoom in on it, it doesn't look good, because it's not 12K of photo sites in there. Planning on doing a sit-down interview, evenly lighted, to introduce her and then cut her working out, and that's her more aggressive style. Yep. That's great advice there. Yeah. I like the idea of being an interview instead of recorded voiceover where she tries to sound inspirational. Yeah, because with the interview, you get the voiceover that you're going to use, and you can cut it up however you want. You also get the softness of her talking to the camera. I wouldn't have her talk to camera. I would have her talk just off camera. I would sit right next to the camera and have her look at me. And I would probably go against the normal today. Normal today is dark side towards camera. In other words, this is light side to camera. So the light is hitting me. This is dark side to camera. Dark side gives you more moody. It is a character in and of itself. Now this is, here, let me do it this way. Okay, that's dark side to camera. All right, it has a darker look that's facing towards the camera. This is light side to camera. There are two different emotions. For her sit-down interview, because there's a positive side to the story, I want to paint her with light in the best possible light. Man, I just double punned that one. But I want her to come off soft, and I want her to have not a contrasting look when she's a human. Let me rephrase that. Let's just say she is like an animal when she's working out. Like she could just tear it up. That's what I mean by human versus animal. Well, she's, her human side, her everyday emotional side, and we get that nice softness on her face. They go very soft on a very big. I don't know what kind of lighting you have, but a really big soft source on her face. That gives you the soft. And then you have the grit, the contrast in there for the voiceover, or for that. And then you can cut up the voiceover as you need, because when you're not showing her interview, it's just voiceover. And you're getting her story, and you're pulling it out of her. Because I wouldn't want to know too much about her story ahead of time, because you need to, as a director of this, pull what is the best parts from everything. So she talks about, she had a rough childhood, or maybe she was short. She was short and people didn't take her seriously because she was short. And you could then follow up with that. You didn't know that was her problem, but if you know ahead of time, you tend to script out too much on these interviews, and you don't get heartfelt answers. You get scripted answers. So you hear that she was short, and you could say, well, what kind of things happened? She's, okay, well, they wouldn't pick me for this, or they wouldn't do that. Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to tell her story. But then find something in there, and then dive in on that. So you're getting these emotional little bits. So you end up with this, I was short and it made me uncomfortable. I was never picked on the team. People didn't want to play with me in the playground. People didn't think I could do a job. People didn't think I could do this and that. All of those different phrases came from different questions that you probed into, you drilled down into. And then you can just kind of mix it up. And as you're doing this and you're just having that conversation, you're hearing it for the first time, you can probe, you can get that information, and she's going to talk to you like a normal person, because she's not seeing the camera, because she's talking to you. And that's how I do it when I pull this stuff out. Color theory. Color can really help change the feeling and emotion of a scene. When you get to color, you can really accentuate the situation and emotion the audience will associate with. Yeah, DM colors. My my thoughts on that, well, my thoughts on what I would do on that is I would desaturate a little bit. I would be very hard, edgy lighting, and I would put some halation and some bloom in post, just to kind of give it that kind of squinting kind of feel, harshness to it. That was what I felt. But chime in there with some more thoughts there. Art, hey Art, Maui Babe Browning gets the sheen and a little color in the skin. We use it. Interesting. Available at Target. Yeah, art is very well established and versed in all matters of this. He's a rock star. Scott trying to explain CFA and debearing. Pretty great technical knowledge, Scott. I went on a deep dive of sensors a few years ago. I'm only going by what I remember because it was so deep. It was hours on the couch chatting with my friends. They're awesome. My friends will put me in my place and know that they're not hurting my feelings, because I don't mind being wrong. I just want to know. That's why I always ask, well, what do you mean? Why? What? I want to know. I want to understand it. I want my brain to connect with it. And they weren't putting me in my place, but they were definitely making sure I understood how it worked. It also opened my eyes to old arguments, because now I know, and I know some secret sauce that I can't say. I probably don't remember most of it, but I know some points that when someone comes to an argument, specifically sensor tech, we talked about this last week, that there's a couple of people that constantly like to chime in on my sensor things. I know or dynamic range is another one too. I know they're wrong, but you can only tell them so many times, and I can't tell them from authority. I don't have the authority, in other words, the experience and engineering and technical expertise to do that. But I know what the authority, who is trusted, tried, and true, has told me, and I know enough to be dangerous enough to know that at some point you just have to give up. You can't teach them beyond. Old phrase, those who are convinced against their will are of the same opinion still. It's that. If you can't make them see, which, I mean, it takes a person. Some people are argumentative and they stand firm in their belief. I'm not that guy. I mean, to a point I am when I'm right, when I know I am, but at that point, that's when I give up and just kind of say, let this be. But I want to know. I want this knowledge like crazy, because I enjoy sharing it back with you all. I really do. That's how we all learn. I guarantee you that DM Colorist and I can have some nerdy conversations, and I'm going to pick the heck out of his brain. Graham couldn't come on. He's too good and too far ahead. We almost have it. I haven't pushed on it lately. We came to an understanding of how we could do it. We couldn't have it be live, simply because he needs to get clearance on everything he's saying just to make sure. So it would have to be pre-recorded. We would have to get questions ahead of time. But I'm telling you, Graham Natras is an incredible human being, number one. Super nice. One of the nicest people you will ever meet. So incredibly talented in his education and knowledge. And I say that because to me, that is an exponential on knowledge. If you're knowledgeable, that's cool. If you're talented at that knowledge, it's a next level. And he is awesome in that. I would love to get him on. I literally talked to him last week about some other things, and I don't know if I can get him on yet. Yeah. Don't light too evenly. Might be nice to have contrast in shots. Yeah. Show close interview. Show wide on the B-rolls. Yeah. After last week's stream with Phil Holland, I've been researching some on color information on footage beyond just dynamic range. Could you explain what are some of the benefits? Color information. Okay, well, I mean, color information is it's actually pretty simple. There is bit depth. Bit depth is how many values are in there. Let's take that to a measurement. Let's say somebody is, I'm going to go to meters here for a moment because I'm international today and I know a little bit about meters. 39.37 inches is a meter. Let's say I am 2.154 meters tall. You can measure me in meters and say I'm 2 meters. You could measure me in centimeters. That is now more resolution and accuracy. I'm not 2 meters, I'm 2.145. But in centimeters, now I'm 214.5 centimeters. We could go millimeters. Now I'm 2,145 millimeters. When I measure myself in millimeters, you know precisely to 1 millimeter how accurate my height is. If it's 2 meters, you don't know exactly. You just know I'm around 2 meters. 8-bit color is like 2 meters. 10-bit color is like centimeters. 12-bit color is like millimeters, except it's actually way more. And I'll give you the values up to what I remember. So I'm going to look at my photo site, and it's a red photo site. If I have 8-bit colors, that means my value of that photo site can be between 0 and 255. That means there are 256 levels of luminance that can come from that red. 10-bit color, now I have I have 4,096 colors. 4,096. I'm going to look this up so I don't get it wrong. It's 496 per well. Bit depth, number of bits. There we go. This is not going to give me a chart. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Well, that didn't help. So 256 is 8 bits. 4,096 is 10-bit. 12-bit is 16384, I think. That's not on here. I'm doing the math. And then you go to 16-bit, which is 65,536. Now, if I'm shooting in 8-bit, and all of us have done it, and you shoot a blue sky, a blue jean sky, you get the banding in there. Why? Because that blue and that blue and that blue are not 3 different colors of blue, 3 slightly different colors of blue. It's actually a gradient of blue to dark blue to light blue. And now it's represented, it's only represented by 256 levels, which means this slight blue and this ever so slight blue gets averaged to meters. And so it's 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meters, etc. I'm hoping this is translating. Please let me know in the comments if it is. When I go to 10-bit color. Now I have 4,096. All of a sudden, those bands got tiny. So much so that they probably don't show up. If I go 12-bit color, now I have 16,000 bands for blue, and then 65,000 bands for blue. Where it comes in coloring is if I'm at 8-bit, and I've got this one, and I band, and I got this blue, and I want to push this one a little bit, boop, it comes up to this one. There's no in between. I can't create it. All I did was create a fatter band. In 4096, I could go boop like that, and it still shows up. There's more steps in there. That's what it really boils down to in bit depth. Then you've got chroma subsampling, and I am not going to answer that because I have not re-reviewed from my last mistake what I did a whole video, actually. If you can find it, let me see if I can find it for you. I did a whole video on it because I had to look it up because chroma subsampling is one of those that just, it ticks me off. 8-bit. Let's see if nope. Color. Oh boy. No, I did it in the compression. Really? Oh, YouTube. Let's see. YouTube. How about Premiere? How about Export? That's what it is, right there. Premiere Pro 2021 export settings. Go watch that video. I do break down into the chroma subsampling in there and what it actually means. And I don't want to misremember what it actually is because I haven't had to think about that in a while. But yeah, hopefully, King, that answers. Would love to deep hang. Oh yeah, we might have you on. Maybe we could do that. It'd be fun. Good thinking. Yep. This became a live dedicated to help you. I mean, that's what we're here for, just having fun. Scott's dark side. Great. I'm humbled. This is so effing great. Thank you all. That's what community's all about, man. It really is. We all just share. I like the dark side. Scott, what you were telling him to do is what I do on my wedding, sitting them down for an interview and deep dive. Oh, that's fine. That's cool. That's fun. Does your homie still have those Noto wheels? Yes, I do. They are available. Let me look real quick. They are available $45.99. $4,599 is the price that I would imagine he would go $4,500, but I'm not getting anything out of that. He offered me, I'm not taking it, but yeah, he still has it. Old arguments, 100%. Scott Loki is better wedding than he realized. No, I'm not. I won't do them. King, the best wedding filmmakers love proper storytelling. This is true. That's why Grumbo is so awesome that he finds, and he does thousands of weddings, and he can still find these stories. I don't know how he could do it. You should invite Graham and Phil to make a live stream about sensor tech, photo sight, pixel resolution, color filter arrays, color subsampling, provided, see, I put yours together. They agree to only talk about color science, not, see, that's the tough part. And he has all of this knowledge from not just Red. Graham is an independent contractor and works with others. So, there's a Graham kiss of approval that is sought after. and he can't go live to get on there because he could accidentally say something that could ruin his career, and that's never something I would want to put my friend through. I mean, Phil walks that line every time he's on here. We try. I mean, I was pretty good, but also Jared was also really good about allowing it, but pushing to get info out of Jared back in the days there. Way back in '08 on Red User, me and Graham went back and forth for a minute on sensors, color compression, such a wealth of knowledge. I was a student that, the funny thing is, Graham is he's not a sensor engineer. He is a color engineer, working with color compression, math, all kinds of stuff. He knows sensor because he knows what they're doing, so he can work on those algorithms and all of that. It's, yeah. He's a geek because every time there's a technical question, he spends 10 minutes explaining it passionately. Thanks for using meters because I won't get the feet. That's because we use feet, tomatoes, marbles, and I think small poodles as our U.S. measurement standpoint. I actually like inches and yards and miles. I don't know. I get the meters and everything, but, y'all convert to us. Come on. Christmas tree already. Well, not quite. I was doing it to show off bokeh. Oh, yeah, 10-bit. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Name colors. Yes. The other way. 4096 is 12-bit. That's correct. So it's a 10-bit, 8-bit. Yeah, double. Okay, yeah. So it's doubling it every bit. But it's still magical. It truly is. You end up with 65,535 shades of red, green, and blue. So you get to multiply those out together, and it's like 16 trillion. I got you, Scott. Just a little behind. I appreciate you. CSS, how many groups of color pixels are grouped together during compression? Doesn't that depend on the compression? I don't think I have that information. I don't know. That's variable. Did I say much? Maybe it's not. Ignore what I said. Yeah, Alistair Chapman, which actually I need to have him back. I need to have him on. We talked about it. Alistair, wonderful human being, truly wonderful human being. Very, 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 very talented, very intelligent. We have gone down the deep end of conversation, and he's one of those people that we can just like completely disagree and just get into it, not like fisticuffs, just deep dive, just back and forth. No, this is this, and we're completely friends. He's an awesome human. He's also a good friend of mine, actually. I really like him. He is, yes, very knowledgeable on that stuff, and it's fun. If you can go back and find that conversation on Facebook, good luck, his Facebook algorithm. It was a Alistair and Graham back and forth on one of my censor posts that really got me, whoa, what's going on? And Alistair is pretty accurate most of the time. I'm not going to say he's 100%. I'm not going to say Graham's 100%, but I mean, between those two, they know some stuff. Also, Alistair is a heck of a storm chaser too, if you didn't know that. And I gotta talk to him. We were gonna do a thing together. I'm gonna get him on the live stream. I gotta get him on there. I gotta remember to do that. Live stream guest. Alistair, thank you for reminding me. I always forget that I make all these lists of people to get on, and we talked about it at Cinegear, because he's got great stories. He was actually I think he was probably one of the first DPs that I met in person. And he was doing a class at our local place, one of our local studios. And it was a bring your own camera, and we shoot a music video. And he was basically teaching, how to light this, how to do this, and how to do all that. And I had just gotten my C100. This was way back, 2013 maybe. And he still remembers it. It's funny. We talk about every NAB. It's fun. Since he's always been more on broadcasting arena, but nobody explains complicated stuff better than him. He's like the best video. Yeah, he's very good at it. He's not. I mean, zero disrespect to the statement. He's not as versed on other technologies as he is on some. He is very well versed in fundamentals and all of that. And then he's also really good in Sony tech and surrounding techs around that. But there are some games that get played in other things that he's not 100% knowledgeable on, and he'll tell you he doesn't know, and it's fun. But it is, he's an awesome dude. Really, really, really dude. Really, really good. Except he's too much into Sony. He is not paid by Sony. He is not a shill for Sony. He is, I don't even think he's an ambassador. I don't think he's got that credit. Maybe he does. But they will pay him to go do an event. So they'll say, we want you to take the Venice to Abu Dhabi and teach a class. They will pay him to do that. That is working for Sony, basically on a contract basis. It's not he works for Sony. He's a Sony guy. He is a Sony guy just because he loves Sony. I am not a Kessler employee, but I do consulting, wrong word. I do tutorials. I do that as a contract basis for them. I have tons of conversations with them. I'm not paid for them. I said consulting, I said bad word. It's like I'm consulting for free because he's my friend and I absolutely adore him. And I love Kessler gear, and I loved Kessler gear before I even met the man. I owned so much before I met him. And so it's the same kind of thing with him and with Alistair and Sony. There is your explanation. I understand it much more. Okay, very good. Cool. I recently started my YouTube channel. Nice. What advice would you give me? Man, I am the wrong person, Rumen. I do me. I do things my way. And if you look at my channel, probably one of the most common comments, other than you're fat and old, and you're fat and old, that's probably the most common. That's a negative comment, but most common comment I get is, why don't you have more subs? The answer I give is because I do things my way. I don't chase trends. Whatever's hot, the topic, you won't see me doing much of that. I'll do newsworthy stuff. I like to talk about the news stuff in cameras and such, but if it's a reacts videos, I don't do those. I don't care. I don't want to follow a trend. What I will tell you is YouTube is about personality and subject. If you have a subject but you have no personality, they won't watch you. If you have a personality and no subject, they won't watch you. You need personality to go with your subject. What I will tell you is, be yourself. Don't be fake. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but don't put on a persona for YouTube. If you're a quiet person, don't be loud and boisterous on YouTube. It won't work for you, because at some point you will get tired of being that character. It happens. This is YouTube burnout. It is what happens. I don't necessarily burn out on YouTube. I do take breaks because I have massive amounts of self-doubt, performance anxiety. Wrong phrase. I have you know the term, where I don't believe that I am deserving of the level that I am perceived to have, that kind of thing. So I take breaks to reset and get back to do better on that. So don't be anything but yourself, because you'll at least want to do the videos then. And then from there, I mean, if you want subscribers fast, chase a trend, but just understand that the people that follow you because you chased a trend are people that are following you because of trends. I don't do them, so I have to believe that the 11,200, whatever my number is today, they follow me because I'm an old fat white guy sitting on here just being me and sharing whatever knowledge I can get to share back. So that's what I would tell you. Other than that, I am not successful. Oh, poor Rex. I didn't realize I had him out. He's been there the whole time. Y'all should have reminded me. With respect to Nisi Athena's, is the footage flat? Is the bokeh boring? Does it look overly sharp on skin? It's pretty sharp. They're very sharp lenses. The bokeh is not boring. Go look at my Nisa Athena review. I did a full-on puppet video, music video for it, and I shot with all the lenses. You could also see it on the Core SWX rap song. They are sharp lenses, though. They're pretty sharp. You got to think about that. Footage is not flat. There's a little bit of contrast to them. DM says, got to go, date night. Let's connect soon. Will do. We'll definitely connect. Attended a seminar with Alistair when the FS700 first came out. Super smart. And he's fun. He's just fun. He's a nice guy. I find it funny how brand thing I'm working for certain brand, but I just bought those gear and not even got contact with them. Oh, and it's funny. Alistair will tell you the same thing. He has suggestions. He can't talk to an engineer at Sony. He is only allowed to talk to the marketing rep or whoever rep, the training rep. That is it. He has no ability to, and it sucks because he could share. Ruben says, thanks for the advice. I was ashamed of my accent, but my wife convinced me a part of my character. Dude, don't be ashamed of who you are. I know it's tough. Believe me, I deal with it every day because of, thanks, Phil, imposter syndrome. Yes, I fight with it literally every day. Be yourself. Just your accent, it is who it is. But guess what? Some of the coolest people on the planet have some of the coolest accents, and you never know. There's a guy, Sergey, the VFX supervisor on IK. He's from Ukraine, and I don't know if I had a full-on man crush on his accent, but his accent was awesome. And to me, it sounded like the best actor trying to act with a Ukrainian accent. Here, I talk to you here. I like to put like that. But that was his real accent. And it was the most awesome accent ever. I miss Sergey. I'm going to hope to see him soon. I'm here for the beard. See, wife wanted me to shave it last night. No, look at that. Look at that. We're 4 fingers in. Santa don't shave that beard. It just gets whiter. What's weird though is if you look inside, there's maybe not now, but well, it's if you look underneath the glossy white exterior, it's brown. So I thought maybe my beard had turned just all white. It's not. It's white and gray with some brown in there. It's wild. I believe I started following for a video with one of those bottles that always has water in it. Oh, Ruben, that was the bright tangerine. Which one was that one? It's one of my magic trees. a reformed magician. That was what was I think it was a map box. What was that one? I think it was the map box. But I used it to try to explain how versatile things are. Maybe I need to bring some of that back, Ruben. Thank you for reminding me. More magic. All right, I'm going to do that. I literally have 2 trunks of magic in there, and I'm talking about trunks. What's up, Rex? What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? He's like, dude, it's an hour past normal. I know, but you're good. You sleeping, aren't you? You're a good boy, aren't you? Yeah, you are. That's Rex. I have a messed up accent, Eastern European, who learned to speak English from French, Spanish, and Scottish. Dude, I want to hear this now. I have to find your channel. You'll need to go in and make a comment on the live stream after the live stream is over. Just down in the comments, and then I can click on your channel from there. Scott, once I heard you say house and not hoose. I knew you were going or house. Yeah, we talk funny down here in Texas. Although I'm told I have no accent whatsoever. But I can have an accent if I need one. If I want to do like East Texas, what you do is you double and triple those vowels that are in there. If you go too far, you'll be Mississippi. So you got to bring it back. Like 2 or 3 vowels will get you East Texas. The East Texas accent. You got it's a long A on accent. And then West Texas. The way to talk West Texas, you got to talk really fast. You got to converge everything down into simple things, and then you got to talk really fast. And you can have a little bit of an accent on there, but if you talk really fast like this, I swear, if you go find a video of George W. Bush, former president, that is quintessential. And I mean, every single one of my uncles and grandparents and everybody from West Texas had that exact same sound. It's funny. We'll do for sure. Cool. Hey, what up? Yeah, but some of us have a hillbilly. Our IQ loses points when we open our mouths. You know what? Some people just don't like the taste, but, there's a little bit of tea for everybody. So it's okay when you get down with the hillbilly. I lived in Tennessee, too. And you notice how I said that, Tennessee? I didn't call it Tennessee because in Tennessee, that's how we call it, Tennessee. In Nashville, Tennessee. That's all I got to say about that. I think I had me about 15 Dr. Peppers that day. Did you send the Nikon Z8 back? Not yet. You will gain traction with film? I think it will. I have several more videos I'm working on with it. And I'm going to do my best to learn it more and share it more. Don't get offended, Scott. I'm not a native English speaker, but your accent impressions, actually, they're spot on. Oh, which one though? The Sergey? I'm telling you though, he sounds like this. He would come up and he would go, "You have disc? Is it done?" What was his phrase? Oh no. Here it is. He would come up and go, "How long till copy done? How long?" Love that man. He's awesome. It was so good that I literally told him, I was like, "Dude, I love your freaking accent." To say the word "how long" and it's "how long." It killed me. I used to be able to do some impressions. I can't do them anymore. Think the way you come to love a camera for all its advantages and disadvantages. One needs to learn to love oneself. There's no great picture without perfectionism. imposter syndrome, all of that. Yes, Holger, and what we're talking about on Brandon Washington's live stream, and he just completely glossed over my comment. They were talking about AI cameras, and I said, how much emotional attachment will you have to a photo taken of a photo that you, or of a picture of a photo you didn't take of a place you never went to? Because that was part of the thing. You could take a picture of somebody and they're in Switzerland. What emotional attachment will you have to that? When you see that picture, you will not think you were in Switzerland. You know better. You'll have zero emotional attachment. That's why AI has no business in business. It's not going to be that successful. It's going to be a helper. That's what I believe. Sergey is the only one you do good. I do East Texas really well. I really do, because half of my family's from East Texas. The other half is from West Texas. My favorite was my aunt. She goes, I don't have an accent. And I'm from Tennessee. I know Tennessee. AI picture is just like Googling it. It's worse than that, because you can't get the same image twice. That was also another comment that I made on Brandon's He Didn't See, is AI cameras never taking the same photo twice. Guaranteed. That's another plus of weddings. They are safe from AI. No, they're not, because the wedding couple wanted to go to Hawaii. Can you please take an AI photo of them in Hawaii? Yep, it's going to happen. Okay, you're doing good. Now, down under, I only have a few friends down there in Australia. Most of them are from New Zealand, which is, you have to put a little more ease on it. English, I'm more insulting because I do kind of a Cockney accent on English, so it's not bad. But I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is about English and Australians doing American accents, but they got it down. They rock star that. But Americans doing English accents, not so much. Because like Deadpool, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, that dude, are you talking to me, bub? He's got it down. Just got married, wasn't even there. Do a Scottish. I've got a bit of Scottish in me. Not much. It's just a wee. That's a little bit of Irish. It's Scottish. I do actually have a little of the Scots in me. Not much. Just a little bit. Mostly I get it all from Braveheart. Not too much. What's on your wish list for the next Nikon camera? I want a Z mount with a Z to RF adapter. Is what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Other than that, I mean, I wouldn't mind a Komodo Z being a Komodo X with extended highlights. That'd be kind of cool. Seriously, AI is great for speeding up the creative process, but it's literally inhuman. Ding. I think the generic American accent is the easiest one to do, even for non-native speakers. I don't know. We should all submit our accents and have people judge. It would be funny. Well, that's what we should do. We should submit audio only to an impartial judge of our accents, never speaking in our native accent, and see if they can determine where we're from. My voice, they probably just get it right off the bat. Seeing you imitating accents, Scott, I perceive that you are a good actor. Have you had experience with acting? Were you ever interested in that? I never... Yes and no. I have interest in it. I don't think I have any place for acting. Although, when the movie It comes out, you will see me. to me, there are several things that make a good actor. And there are levels of that are pretty intense. Like I know several actors that are, it's mind blowing what they actually do, what they can do and such. To me, the first thing you have to be able to do as an actor is read without reading. And it's surprisingly tough for most people. And I don't know, maybe it's just easy for me, or maybe I'm just the class clown and it just happened to be natural. But like my wife, that was a copy of a movie. I'm also really good at imitating imitators. My wife, she gets in some skits periodically, not too often, but she has the hardest time reading without reading. So I give her a line and I want her to act it out. And I think in her brain, it doesn't click to performance is literally saying that line for the first time. The Seinfeld. Everyone's probably seen Seinfeld. The younger generation, you probably hated Seinfeld. Seinfeld had a great episode once on Kramer had one line, or maybe it's George or Jerry had one line, and it was, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." And there were 75 different takes of it that they were all doing. They're like, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." And they're all trying to do it. It was funny because they're all actors. So they know how to do it, and they're having to undo it to do this scene. But it's that example, like if you're reading a script and you're like, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." That is literally reading it. But if you're going to say it, you're going, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." You're going to say it a different way. And that separation, all that answers to, I would like to act. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I don't know that I can do enough emotion to drive it all. Rex is like, "Dude, it's time." I mean, if you want to see my acting, go look at the live Jared Land interview with KG from Red for Nikon, where he pops in and I'm meeting him for the first time. It was not the first time I met him. It was supposed to be a surprise, but I said, "I can act." There's the answer. I can't tell what my accent is. I've been hanging out with so many different expats. Yeah, yours is a tough one. Yours is really tough. And your accent, I don't think I could put anything on it because you have a worldly accent. Probably so much like Rumen. Might be the reason Scott is behind the camera. Maybe. Rolling out for the eve. Art, good to see you, buddy. We'll reach out next week to get you a shipment of some brown. Oh, some brown water. Oh, interesting. You have my information. You have my attendance here. Say the line. What's up? What's up, Vanilla Face? Looking for a crib. Only two pimps. Know who's. Wow. Let's see. Let's see. In a Borat accent. Let's see. What is up, Vanilla Face? Looking for a crib. Only two pimps, no hosts. Oh, that's best I could do. One line there, one practice, that was it. Reading it for the first time, that's why you don't give your interviewee the questions beforehand. And that's why you don't know the answers beforehand either. A Borat wedding filmmaker would be funniest thing ever. I knew him back when he was, no, I didn't know him personally, but before Borat, he was Ali G. He was the Ali G show. What up? Everybody just saying hi, working late. Hey, Cognition. That line is for the actual movie. I have not seen it in so long. Borat, That was perfect. We need to clip this out now. I've never gone back through my live streams and clipped anything. Maybe one day. Oh, is she coming to tell me it's all over? You're not. No. Okay. It's about that time. I went for 3.5 hours. Okay, everyone. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Anything that I can throw in? I'm happy to answer. It was, don't worry, I'll do it and send it to you on an Instagram. We were doing accents. Are you listening? Oh, yeah. She came in to probably give me stink eye about me saying that she was reading. Did you hear that part? No. Oh, okay. Nothing. She's laughing. No, I was talking about how they were asking if I ever had ambitions for acting. I was like, I have parts of it, but I don't have enough. And I said, like my wife, she can't distinguish between acting, like performing it versus reading it. Boy, there's some B-roll that will never be seen of me getting frustrated because, when you're with someone for so long, you have a shorthand with each other. And when the shorthand doesn't work because you've introduced something new, it's like, I tell you, it's just like, oh, we get so frustrated with each other. But, it's life. Don't worry. I'll see. It's time to go to bed now. Yep. What do you feel about art? Here's what I think, Chung. I think, yeah, I'd love another one. Yes, thank you. I think Deadpool and Wolverine did a tremendous job of bringing excitement back to Marvel. I really do. Because it was the perfect amount of everything. It was the perfect amount of, we don't care, we'll offend everybody, don't worry about it, don't take it seriously, have fun. And it brought so much attention. It's doing fantastic. Last night, it was 600 million worldwide. 1 week. I think that Robert Downey Jr. doing that, now knowing that he's getting paid $40 million for each one, I think I don't know him personally, and I'm not trying to slight him, but I think he's deflating Marvel of what it could be. I think he could have done it for less and saved some money for more. It is a phenomenon. Nice to see him in any capacity. I don't disagree. I think he's a very versatile actor. I knew him. I know him from movies going way back to the 80s, back when he was a wee youngin'. I remember I grew up with those movies. So he's I guess he is how old is he? Is he our age? Yeah. We're only 30. Yeah, maybe he's slightly. No, I think he's my brother's age. Olger says, lots of love. Excited to go shooting. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the best. A24 should take on maybe. I was happy. I was disappointed in a lot of Marvel. Very, very disappointed in a lot of Disney, really. I just think they're jumping the shark on everything badly, rather than paying homage to it. What Deadpool and Wolverine did, I think, if they will just follow the recipe. It doesn't have to be R-rated. You can make it PG. Look at Top Gun 2. It doesn't have to be the most invigorating story on the planet. It just has to be fun, entertaining, and do that. If they will do that, then I think they can come back. But I don't know. Would love to see that. A24 Spider-Man movie would be awesome. The Boys. See, The Boys, I love The Boys. and then I lost the boys. I haven't even seen season 4. Season 1 was incredibly awesome. Season 2 was pretty interesting. Season 3 was, to me, was okay. We know we're popular now. We can get away with anything, and we will. That's not it. If you look at Deadpool and Wolverine and Deadpool 2 and Deadpool, it's the same level across the board. It was a fun, daring, risque, obnoxious movie, different stories each time. They didn't try to go further and further. That would be interesting. Saw Deadpool and Wolverine just in time before the wave of spoilers came out. Really liked the movie. It's also nice homage to any Marvel before MCU to make youngsters to check out the old movies. Yeah, I've seen it 3 times now. I love it. I love that movie. Really, really good. Check out season 4. Worth it? We'll see. Season 1 and 4 are great. Frank, you're still here. Good to see you, Frank. You're so quiet all the time. Gen 5 is good too. Gen V. What is Gen V? What am I missing? Old guy here. Corey, hey Scott, any news on what Nikon and Red are creating right now? I've got lots of it, but I can't say it. What cinema camera will be out after the C400 and when? Yes. I've spilled that before. There are 2 APS-C hybrid cameras coming out before the end of the year. There's 1 cinema camera coming out that is below the C200 before the end of the year. Probably September announcement, maybe. That's what's coming. The 2 APS-Cs will not be showstoppers. I mean, they're big, but they're not. Don't look for cutting edge everything. There will be, R5C Mark II. Getting back to the characters while staying hilarious, plus political satire. That's almost too close to home for. The funny thing is, most Americans, we're happy to make fun of ourselves. I mean to tell you, I'm not going to go into politics, but I can tell you on whatever I believe on my political side, I am happy to get roasted with it. I'm happy to cut jokes with it. I'm happy to roast others with it. I don't care. There is a small subset of across the board, and I don't know what generation they are anymore, but there's this small subset that just really gets offended by everything. And they don't need to. They really need to. I'm literally going to sound like a boomer right now, and I am not a boomer. Not a boomer, even though I was called boomer twice today. Life is tough. Life is hard. And I am not going to pretend to know what anybody goes through in their life. Nobody knows what somebody's lowest point is. Nobody knows. But I can promise you, getting, okay, Rex. He's mad because I'm going to let him in. I'll finish my point. Just 1 second. Come on, buddy. He's like, you didn't come out. That's not how this works. Hi, buddy. What's up? You a good boy? Yeah? You a good puppy? Yes, you are. You're a good boy. He's also a really big dog. Being made fun of is not the end of the world. Being picked on is not the end of the world. Wrecking your car is not the end of the world. Everything that happens, it happens. I know, and for some, yes, I get it. People always want to pick out that little thing. Well, what if they wreck their car and die? Yeah, okay. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about someone who gets, like, emotionally destroyed because they got rear-ended and they don't know how to process the information or what have you. Everybody needs to breathe and realize you just already got through it. You already, on the other side, you're already there. Oddly enough, you wouldn't think it. Looking at me, this giant thing. I was picked on like you wouldn't believe in school because I was tall and I was slanky, skinny. I mean, like embarrassingly skinny. I weighed 160 pounds and I was 6.5 feet tall. And I got picked on like you wouldn't believe. And I'm not a fighter. So it was tough. But you know what? I wouldn't change. I wish that, I wasn't picked on as much, but I wouldn't change it. It's kind of funny. That's kind of opposite of each other. I wish, but I wouldn't change it. It's made me who I am today. Every single thing that's happened to me has made me who I am today. And I've had some lows. I've had some absolute lows. Things that I could never discuss. Things that I don't ever want to discuss. Is that the lowest it's going to be in my life? I don't know. But once those things happen, you're already through it. And so political satire, what I feel most Americans, and I think probably most people in the world, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, and if y'all are some of the younger generation that feels this the way I was describing, let me know too. I'm happy to talk about it. Most people in the world can brush it off eventually. Yeah, you're going to have some emotions. When a loved one passes, there's emotions. You lose your job. There's emotions. You have to go through them. But you've already gone through it. You just have to go through the emotions and just let it go. All of that to be said was getting too close to home for Americans? No. Most of the world can brush off that kind of humor. They really can. Think back 30, 40 years when, say, an American comedy show would make fun of they would act as a Japanese person and they would over-exaggerate their pronunciation of things or things like that. Japanese didn't like it. I mean, nobody likes it when they're made fun of, but you can get over that and you can go on throughout life. It wasn't the worst thing that happened to you in your life. And you can be better and let it guide you. And if you can brush it off, everybody's better for it, which is why movies don't need to be so concerned with making every single person happy or no one sad. Tell the story as best it can to connect to the audience who wants to see the movie, not the audience that you want to see the movie. Because Disney's going to tell you, we want everyone to see the movie. Well, guess what? Everyone doesn't want to watch a cartoon, or everyone doesn't want to watch a Prince movie or whatever. Speaking of strictly Disney. So don't be afraid. And I think maybe, just maybe, Marvel learned something, Disney ultimately, with Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's hope. Sorry about that. That was a long rant. Come on, tell us a little bit more about Knock on the Red. I cannot. We are old. In a good way. Oh, interesting. Gen V, but where is that? Is that on Amazon? Oh, I got to find this now. You can be more explicit about what comes. Nope, I sure can't. No, I can't. IBC Amsterdam likely the target where the announcement wave of new gear coming. I believe so. Overcoming adversity is essential to storytelling and becoming human alike. Not a surf. You're not safe in a safe. Get made fun of. It's not the end of the world is my next t-shirt. I really wish I could come up with a really cool phrase that everybody would just connect to on this channel, and I could sell a bazillion t-shirts. That's too long for a t-shirt. That's like my catchphrase is don't let your passions sit around your life. Let your life sit around your passions, and you have to like turn your body for people to read it. Very good point, Spot. Very level-headed. Thank you very much, King. So you're saying there won't be any camera from Canon that competes with Burano, something like a C500 or C600 or something. This year? No. You specifically asked about this year, did you not? This year, no. Next year, yes. Interesting. C600 next year. Bummer. You can't release 3 cameras at the same time, because what you induce is a situation. It's business. If I release 3 cameras at the same time and they're 3 different price points, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. If you release them at the same time, chances are everyone's going to buy the 5,000. It's just business. So you release them in an order that gets you more money. That's business. You release a low cool camera, the $5,000 camera, then you release the $15,000 camera. Then you release the $10,000 camera, because those that the $5,000 camera wasn't enough, they needed a $10,000 camera, but there's no $10,000 camera. They're going to buy the $15,000 camera because the $5,000 isn't enough. The $15,000 is more than enough, but it at least meets their needs, so they're going to spend that money. If you release it 5, 10, and then 15, then you're incrementalizing. You're one-upping, and people are like, I'm good with the 5. I'm good with the 10. You got to do it that way. Just like you can't just start off with here's the $50,000 camera. That's my. Yes, the C700, the forgotten camera with the 2 sensors. One of them is a global shutter. Okay, thank you, Scott. Love your wisdom, by the way. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. Signing off. Thanks, everyone, for sharing, Scott. Your favorite practical in-camera trick shot. Your favorite practical in-camera trick shot. That's a tough one. I don't think I have one that I use more than anything else. I would probably the one thing that I've used more than anything would be prisms. Getting prismatic light either to the lens or to the wall or somewhere. It does so much, and I've done that on like a lot of thumbnails and such, where I literally shine light through prisms and get all the different spectrums to throw out. I do like doing that. Just distorted glass. It's fun. Mine is low shutter 8th for events. Oh, are you talking about like a strobing, almost like a old movie? Well, 8th wouldn't be strobing, but it would be. Oh, you're talking about dragging the shutter. You're talking about slow shutter. So you're shooting at 24, but you're at 8th. Dream sequency, yeah. Things flying by fast. Yeah, well, okay. No, Holger, the best favorite practical in-camera trick shot, shooting 48 frames a second at 360 shutter. That is definitely something. I use that almost literally every chance I shoot. I don't do it on the YouTubes, but I do it on everything else. Okay, it is time to sign off, everyone. Thank you all for having a fun and enjoyable. I thought it was going to be slow and boring and not exciting, but I think it turned out a lot of fun. It's really amazing. You get drunken effects, and it's fun with the lights. Yes, you get the streaks. Slow shutter, I got good video on how it was developed from step printing to slow shutter in Hong Kong cinema. Oh, interesting. Ruben joined, made it fun. Well, yep. There you go, Ruben. You joined and you made it fun. Bye, love, Ruben. I hope I'm saying it right, Ruben. Is that right? Or is it Ruben? What is it? Tell me how to pronounce it. I'll try to pronounce it. Sound it out the best I can so I can say it, because now I want to know. I usually butcher everyone's name, and I'm from Philadelphia. Oh, I'm from Philly. I really feel bad about it when I do that, because I actually truly try to be friends with every single person I meet, and I would consider all of you my friends. Like Ruben, but with an M. Ruben, got it. Very cool. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining. Please consider becoming a channel member. You get to see the videos before they come out. Sometimes you get to see the behind-the-scenes stuff. Sometimes, not as often as I'd like. I wish I could do more. But, you help the channel. If you are purchasing anything, please consider using Amazon or B&H. If you're international, I appreciate you. There's not much I can do there. But, yeah, as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions. Bye, everyone. Yeah, I like him too, King. I do too. It's perfect, like Ruben with an M. You're live. We'll try to join again. Don't tell Brandon, but this one was way more fun. Oh, Brandon's awesome. You and I are friends. We're all good. Oh, thank you, Holger. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Go eat something fun and delicious. Oh, I forgot to say that. I love food, so yeah, everyone goes. And all right.